Yeah, they had a lot of motivation coming into that game.
Coming back to this game, I also want to look at Icy because he's a player I found throughout this year has had this inconsistencies, and I feel like mood is definitely a thing where you can see him kind of disappear, but this was not one of those games, right? When it's all going so well, he can shine. I just want to see this more often.
Icy was fiery, which is supposed to melt him, but in fact, it actually just made him even stronger. Late round moments for this guy are still sublime. That was always his best attribute in the Amcall and Cloud9 rosters.
Amcall's redemption.
Yeah, he was such a great player in just those late moments, and he still does such a great job. I mean, he did set them up a couple times with opening picks in this game, don't get me wrong, but you back this guy up into a bomb site, you're trying to throw utility to get him off of the angles, and he's still able to dodge and weave, bob and weave, and then he's able to get 1 or 2 crucial kills.
I think he's one of those players, too, where you're going to see him get better with time, because obviously coming into this team relatively inexperienced, especially with players of the caliber of Flit, Fame, and Electronic. And if you remember, like the famous clip of Electronic just kind of snapping and yelling at Icy on that train game, if I had to like read between the lines and guess a little bit, I would say Electronic alluding to making some changes either had to do with him kind of scaling back how hard he was riding Icy, or Icy making improvements that allowed him to scale it back. So Icy probably feels a little bit of freedom. I would hope coming into this event, Icy feels a little bit more freedom of not having to second guess and be worried about the consequences of his decisions.
We'll wait and see how it goes for maybe when a game's a bit tougher to know how it will go. There is a long set of games going for the rest of stage 2 here. For us next, though, we're going to go and speak to Fallen, hear what he's got to say, because they're going up against Linvision next. Fallen, when we last saw Furia, it was a new look Furia doing incredibly well. But I want to ask, how did you guys get ready for the major? Because it seems like you've been in America for quite some time.
Hello, everyone. It's been amazing. We had the chance to go to the Furia office in Miami. We were there practicing for a couple of days, and it felt good because we had a lot of things to fix, a lot of things to add into the game, some maps that we realized could be better from the first games we played. So yeah, feeling good for the tournament.
When you say a couple of days, can you let me in on how long the boot camp was, how much practice time you were able to get?
We were able to get like 12 to 15 days of prac.
That's good.
Yeah, it was very, very good. And yeah, I'm very excited to play this tournament.
Now, obviously, it was very exciting when we saw Molodor and Yakinda come in. We saw just a new bit of life come into Furia. But when you go through these things, you know, you're adding more structure, adding more game plan to it all. Do you feel like you guys have another level you can hit? Do you feel like there's been big improvements?
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit of getting used to some roles, just like the roles have been playing, get used to communication, and also I think with the pickups we had, like Molodor is playing very well. Yakidar is helping on a lot of things, not only on the kills, but helping us to structure defenses and stuff like that. So there have been a great addition to the team.
When you say structured defense as well, so he's like maybe your second voice helping at the moment?
Yeah, he definitely helps a lot, mainly on the CT side, but he does help on the T side as well.
That's great to hear. Now, for you, we were very impressed of you picking up the rifle, what you were able to do, how you were feeling out the map. How much do you feel like your just years of experience in the game sense you have is helping you kind of flourish in this role?
I'm having a lot of fun playing this new role because it's a role that I always paying attention as an AWPer to how people are playing their positions because of the IGL sense as well. But to be playing those positions is a different feeling. So I kind of already knew many of those things that those roles requires. But once you step in their shoes, there's a little bit more to it. So you kind of realize it. And it's been fun because for me, every game, every practice, there's something new to learn. There's adjustments to be made. And it feels great when I can perform with the rifle. So yeah, for me, it's been very fun. Do
you feel like you understand all the timings quite well?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I learn a few things here and there. But yeah, it's all about the technique. I think the positions I'm playing, it's all about making sure they cannot exploit you too easily on the openings and stuff like that, and hitting the shots. So yeah.
You're going up against Linvision. Obviously, you faced them not too long ago in Dallas as well, so you have an idea of how to play against these guys. Is this a team where you're comfortable in terms of stylistically and how they play, just going up against them?
I think it's a good matchup for us for the first game compared to the other teams we could be facing. There's a lot of good teams on this stage. And Linvision has been hot because they just came from the other group. And that quite can play a role in the first games. It's a best of one, so we have no time to go slow in the beginning. So I'm hoping to a good match. I think they have been playing good CS. Asian CS overall, I think, improved so much, and it's great to see.
Well, that was Fallen, but let's take a look at this from Yakinda on Furia's major chances. He says, maybe I'm naive, but I truly believe we can win the major.
I love the confidence.
Oh, dear. Hey,
I love the optimism. You know, I think obviously it's probably a bit early in this Furia project, but at the same time, they came out on a honeymoon and absolutely showed their worth in Astana. Right, we had young Molodoi Kazakh player in front of the home crowd, managing to get some good games in the arena, get a map off of Spirit. There was a lot to like about this Furia debut. Sure, Dallas, they just disappeared, but they came off the back of flying cross-continent to get there, barely made their game in time. And so I think now, after Fallen said we've had a couple of weeks of prac, let's see what Furia have really got to show.
Yeah, and a match that you actually saw take place at that Dallas event. Them versus Lin Vision, they were able to pick it up handedly there last time. Also, I'm liking the jersey.
The look is
Fury.
great.
Yeah.
The look is great, isn't it? Do you like what I'm seeing? Yeah, Lin Vision, right? This is the Chinese team that, they've always been going back and forth against Tyloo. We've had different teams this year win that over and over, but both Chinese teams making it through stage one in that final day. Lin Vision absolutely earned their position here, but I think it's going to get very, very hard, as we've seen, especially these Chinese teams struggle against some of the top dogs. And I think Furia are riding off of momentum off of their debut. I think they can forget about Dallas, just given how much success they've had in such a short time, plus the prac coming into this major. So starting a stage later for Furia, probably valuable time to get acclimatized with this new roster, with a new language, and with new roles across the board. We're into it though, it's Nuke. Lin Vision, no strangers to this map. Furia start on that CT side.
This is the guy we want to be keeping a close eye on, Molodoi. The AWP addition to this Furia squad.
Debut major appearance.
Oh, that's not a bad start for Molodoi. Catch Zaka for free on a bit of spam out in the yard. 3 players will make it down lower. Vision trying to get a foothold. There's already this double rotate, Yuri and Keserato. The OG Furia duo adorn this lower site, and they've even got support from Fallen.
The read is good. There's no one really to stop it except Yakindar. He is locked in right now, but he's also a shot from death. Got to land a clean tap. They've seen him on the map, and Westmelon clears him out. 4v4 now. Lin Vision, great control after a vent climb. Plant coming in. No punish for Furia. They're playing retake.
Have all this util on Keserato, so waiting to lob that in. Got a retake smoke. Trying to help him. But just Fallen left. It's a dominant pistol round picked up from the side of Lin Vision. Good turnaround there, right? They go 4v5 down early. They managed to get everyone in through secret, and they misdirect Furia to open this up.
If they go into lower there, probably goes very, very wrong. 3 out of the 4 players were kind of ready for that play. But up the vent, only 1 man on defense. I want to see if that retake smoke comes in again. It's to block the door angle, right, when you're coming out heaven, so you can isolate players on the site. I've seen some teams use different variations of it. Cool idea. Doesn't matter in this one. Lin Vision take it easily. A quick tech check before we get back in. So also an element of warm-up for Lin Vision, right? They've played stage 1, they've been here already a week. They're comfortable with the setups.
Yeah, but I mean, as we've kind of seen from the game so far, it hasn't translated that way for a lot of the stage 1 teams. Bait being an exception to the rule, I guess you'd say.
True, but we are seeing obviously more lopsided games on paper coming into a second stage with some top teams waiting here, some even deeper in the tournament. How do you feel about this Furia project, though? Because
I mean,
we got to see them firsthand.
We got to cast them a bunch in Astana.
Changes.
And yeah, you know, I mean, it's weird because like when the Furia changes first happened and we saw it go, you know, we saw the Furia squad go international. I think there was an angle where like these signings felt very, very underwhelming to a degree. It's like you didn't really know who Molodoi even was. Yakinda pulled back after kind of a rut of unsuccessful attempts to break out from the shadow of his time in VP and hit that same form. But then when we actually got to see them in Astana, it looked really, really good, right? Like one of the things we were saying was like the team had a certain aura around it, and I still think they've carried that with them here into this major. Yakindar certainly has, making a statement, you know, day zero, saying, I actually think we could win the whole thing. Now, you know, that is
I love that bullish
wild,
confidence.
but yeah, it's a very Yakindar statement to make, and it's clear something he's tried to really put across in interviews as well since joining this Furia squad is that he individually feels back and no longer kind of on the decline it felt like he was on. I think he brings a lot to the team. I do like this Furia squad.
Yeah.
One thing I think you have to keep an eye on here at the major, though, is Molodoi. He's someone who I think is in like this very wild position where these, and I felt this way since Astana, where like the next few months decide a lot for this guy. It looks like he could be the real deal, one of the next big things, a real hot prospect on the AWP. But it's as teams get to grips with your style of AWPing, the way you like to play, that's what separates the greats from the goods. And so we're going to see where Molodoi finds himself.
Yeah, it's one thing to come out the gate swinging. It's another thing to stay there. See players like Ultimate have quick meteoric rise and then fizzle. So Molodoi can't afford to do the same if this Furia project is to succeed. Miss smokes outside, but Limvision just stay slow. Blocking main provides a path around the world. They want to go, but Yakinda's back garage to watch for a main split. So got to be very careful here. The one rifle in a potent position. Scout missed shot. Yakinda can't do anything about them crossing in. Molodoi can't connect just yet. Gonna fight Yakinda. It's a great angle for him. Starry out of the round. Flashback for more. Oh, no way he finds that kill. Westmelon full blind backs up into the shot. The only angle that would have worked, but there's still pistols on this top side.
Still crunched between main and that scout up in heavens. Misu tries to hit the 180 turnaround, but the scout's gonna whittle him down. It's just Zaka. Spot on the player in back garage, but his teammates nearby ready to lend a helping hand. They'll both drop in at the back site.
Can you do this? 20 seconds? I think so. It's gonna be very close though. Furia waiting for a repeak in main, and Zaka will get down to that B-bomb site in time. As long as he sticks his pawn, all is okay. Oh, indecision. They're gonna get hit quick. He took too long. He just had to stick it straight up. Furia win the force buyout. Nice double up for Yakinda as well. And you imagine those moments are very hard because communication is a huge topic in this new Furia team, right? It's not just... It's not just players, Furia, who have spoken, for the most part, Portuguese their whole career, in Keserato and Yuri. But players like Molodoi, whose CS English is great, but struggles a little bit more on the interpersonal side. Real life English. So those hectic moments are going to be made even more so for Furia.
this spillover into A, and they've done well. By more than enough time for Molodoi to get out through heaven and lend a helping hand. Just Zaka again in another clutch. And this time, won't even get to be tricky with it in that 1vx. He gets iced out over towards door. So clean stuff on the conversions there from Furia.
Vision broken now as Furia get the chance to take a nice decisive lead in this BO1 off the back of their force buy. Molodoi making that alt money, or at least trying.
Oh, he's succeeding right now. Getting up in their face on this MP9. Padding out them bank accounts.
One more.
Jump spot saw him, and so it's well handled. But this is what Linvision have been waiting for. The guns right around the corner after falling down versus the Furia Force in round 2. They get to bring the guns out again.
Can't be missing smokes here, Linvision. First gun round, and you're going to meet Molodoi outside. He's pushed all the way to red to start the round. He even gets out. He's going to hear this cross as well. Linvision making down very quickly. Second player, not quite as lucky. Molodoi misses that wall through the smoke. Fallen stops the stem of bleeding down on B, and there's so many CTs here to collapse upon Linvision. 0 trades in this round. Everybody on their own timing. Vision in a world of hurt. 2 on 5, no bomb.
And a double setup here, ready to deal with them. Serato facing first, low on health, but taking attention away for Yakindar. Great little interplay there on the lower hold. And that first rifle round they were waiting for on the side of Linvision is quickly forgotten about with a clean pickup from Furia. They'll go from strength to strength on this CT half, looking to widen the margins between them and Linvision.
Looks perfect here from Furia when it comes to rotation. We might have to start seeing some more fakery from Linvision, like that pistol round where they get down secret and come up vent. Not saying they should do that in a gun round, but something to stop Furia's read of the game. They have been padded out in every position Linvision have gone to. On these low econ rounds, stacking on the A site. There are some late smokes coming outside to fake this round, but Yakinda's already in secret. He knows this one's going to be a ruse. As Linvision look to pop ramp, Fallen can just choose to give it up. Looked like he had a kill right there, but barely connecting bullets. They get the control down to B. Don't get the gun though.
Red Tits have already scrambled down here as well. Yakindar just going to go swinging out through the doors. He's fighting on an island here. And Vision try and break. Oh,
God.
Serato, that's really ugly. And now that's opened up a route into the A site. Molodoi ladder stall overran on the Tech 9.
Oh no.
That's heaven secured. This is powerful for Linvision. Couple of awkward flubs from Furia. Look to seal their fate in this round.
Oh, it's disastrous. Both of them had chances to get those kills. More than enough, you'd say. Zaka dodges the nade. And Furia, they've got to give this one up, I think. Unless this kill gets gifted over, Zaka almost exposes himself. Yakinda too late in the lobby, so you would feel. Still looking in. Options are open, but Yakinda not moving fast. He's going to go for the kills here.
Hits on
Can he
Yuri.
find this last player? No, he can't, but dropping in, Yuri's giving it a go.
Defuse tap needed the immediate swing, and even though he gets all the kills, there just simply isn't time. Last second retake denied.
Ooh, if Yakinda was a bit more decisive in that 2-on-3, a bit more convinced, they have a really good chance to win that round. But they're too separated, and seconds too late. It's a wild miss from K-Serata right there. It's what opens up the whole round. Okay, Limvision with an eco. Now we're back on.
Full wall out in the yard.
Nice block. It's so wild watching Yakinda on the cams. I'm never going to get used to it. He has to like pull his chair out just to check the minimap. Oh dear. Going for an upper bust.
Not ideal as well, because Limvision didn't have anyone out in the yard, right? So it's like unconfirmed info right now. Fury are aware that the yard play was just a fake. And so they never bite down on it. Limvision still going to break through the top site hold. Clean openers, double up out of Yakinda. Makes it a bit more interesting. The advantage still falls in the way of Limvision. We'll have the route to the plant open up to them here. For Fallen and Molidoy, a choice is to be made. This 2-on-3, is it worth throwing your hand at it? Molidoy seems to think so, playing in through the lobby, but he can't catch his bearings. And only Fallen left standing, 1 versus 3. He doesn't like what he sees. Does he want to try go get that orb? Got lost out in no man's land in an awkward position back at the lobby, and so looks like holding on to his gun is more important for Fallen.
Yeah, sick round for Amelia. That clear on the close door player, the only guy who was really had a chance in the A bomb site. I don't even know if he sees him. He just spams that smoke as it's blooming. Yakinda tried 2 smoke shots back from him on his break, but Limvision have the numbers, fake or not. It's a heavy Molotov AXX that gets them back in the board. Back-to-back rounds for Limvision, and Furious Money under the microscope. They've got 1 more buy in them. Won't be pretty, it will be enough.
I don't want to feel like you suddenly let them back in a big way this next round, not just to tie up the game, but to break Furious Money. So that would see Limvision with a serious leg up if they're able to accomplish it.
Do we have a fast round here? Because Su is a Mach 10 first spawn, perhaps looking to just go down the vent. So let's see if Fury have the manpower to stop it. Oh, the nades wreck him. There's not even a molly in the way to try and meet him on the ramp, but he's dead, and so's Westmelon. Molidoy sticks around. Look at the B rotation. There's 3 players lower right now. There's a huge gap on this top site. Feels like a bit of a panic here for Furia. They should know no one's made it down. While outside has been open.
I mean, Yakinda's making a great move right now, just going and making sure Secret's empty. This also gives him the option to leave lower. He did that very decisively, recognizing that if they leave outside open too long with no eyeballs on it, it becomes harder to dissolve this 3-man stack down at lower. Yuri just waiting up in the heavens, now gets the spot, sees players trying to take this hell control. And so that only kind of galvanizes Yakinda to follow through on this flank. He's all the way through the back line and should be nearby to help out if this A play comes in.
Oh, can he find it?
They're just trying to locate Yuri up in the heavens, and that was the one chance you were going to get given. Flash play, maybe their only option, and so that's lobbed out from the spawn. It did blind Yuri. It gets them up the ladder at least. A bit of purchase on this top site. They find Fallen Shore, but that's where Yakindar gets to play his hand, arriving from that flank. It's getting awkward here for Furia. Feels like they had every advantage in this round. And yet still we've ended up in this 2-on-2 in at the top site. Yakindar low.
They've got the plant, they've got time, but they can't move off the bomb site. Molodoy tunneled in on the line, hits his. Story looking for the ace now. Young player with all the pressure in a 1v2 is a good smoke. He doesn't move in too early, he can play it late. They've already utilized all their util. And they're not rushing, waiting to see if he forces the move. He's bleeding out the clock right now. Yakindar rather coming in close, low health, should just be a dead man walking, but he can't hit the shot, and Yakindar wins the round. It's a crazy peak for Yakindar, as Starry holds the wrong side, and Furia do good on that 5-on-3.
Just some really nice, proactive movements from Yakindar all throughout the round, and it puts him in a position to even go on and close it. If he doesn't make that play, if they stay a little more static in that setup, you have two players having to come up through the vents, Yakindar being one of them. He would have never been there to slow down that top site, would have never been able to go for that swing on the left side to punish Starry.
Linvision really makes something out of nothing in that round though, right? Because we have the B stack, we had Yakindar getting full info, and they're just trapped on ramp, feeling like they have nowhere to go. They don't want to run into the AWP and lower. They make a lot out of that round. Good heaven flashes from Zaka as well. Really ruined that top site for Fallen and Yuri. And so at least a plant and some damage coaxes them into another buy.
I mean, this is like both teams now with their money on the line, right? If you remember going into that last round, it was Furia up to get broken. If they lost it, they win it, but by a thin margin in the end. And so this round hits like a 2-for-1 for whoever picks it up. For Furia, that could mean a lot of success found in this first half, stabilizing after that little streak of 2 from Linvision.
This flash might actually wreck Fallen. Depends how deep it's thrown. Molodoy moving in to play. No, Yakindar blind inside a smoke. The ramp hit comes through. Miss shot is a big problem because Fallen's full blind. And Molodoy needs bailing out, but he hits a shot anyway. Jumping in the air, finally put down. 3-on-3, and Yakindar's stepping. He's going for 2 kills instead. He gets neither. Westmelon, ugly whiff. And it's still winnable somehow.
This is fast and quiet routing from Zaka, but they're ready for it, and that's the bomb lost in heaven. I think Call Me Super's going back to try and fake a lower take. Running in towards ramp with the molly out. And now left all alone, doesn't even know about K-Serato up in the heavens. He has managed to get past him. This is a little awkward. You'd like to think K-Serato still has a trade guaranteed. And there is that backstab. It will come through, just on a little bit of a later timing from K-Serato.
Yeah, it's a weird split up there, considering the Heaven play just peeks into the bomb site. If you're going to play off a fake, at least let your teammate sell it for you. It might have even forced Yakindar down the vent. But Yakindar's playing really, really well right now. Steps through that smoke, saves his teammate's life. Hitting some sharp shots, 12 and 5. Silo climb with a bunch of pistols here. Molodoy sees him cross over. Yakindar back outside is a good time. Five up. Furia are in the good books right now. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and it feels good to them as well, right? They've been able to stabilize after this kind of back and forth couple of rounds in their You know, it was rounds you had to win. It's where the whole kind of momentum of the game could have shifted. The must-win ones have belonged to Furia, and it's left Vision on the back foot in a big way. Best they're hoping for is 5 rounds on the half here.
Trying to cross the secret. Got one player lurking on main side. Yakinda tucked in his classic position. Teammate draws them in, knocks them both down, just like that. Molodoy's flash and Keserato's fire burns Vision up. So many of these rounds feel like they're over before they begin. Vision just trying to claw back 2-on-4s, 3-on-5s. And they keep making them interesting. Will this one be the same?
This is a nice little foothold to have. Yuri is having to just watch the hut, so is vulnerable to this swing out from the door. Yuri gets the spot off, and there's not an immediate reaction here. That's lent Fallen a much-needed bit of time to get in and lend a helping hand. And so even though in rounds gone by, they've made these ones interesting, as you say, now it all hinges on Xhaka, and one is all he gets. The Molodoy AWP provides the covering fire. Furia running away with the CT side now. 4 rounds in a row. They're looking to make it 5 before the half is through, and there's not a lot for Vision to stop them on their way to that goal.
I don't know what I'd do either when Yakinda and Keserato are the yard adjacent players, right? Yakinda and Garage or in red in many of these rounds. Keserato coming out from main. Molodoy setting up flashes, playing very active on the AWP, not trying to force the kills, but he's hard to read. He's been on ramp, he's been lower, he's been in the garage. And we even get a double AWP out in the last round of the half because Fallen's got the money for it. So screw it.
And yeah, there's a bunch of promising signs here for Furia fans. Yakinda having a great game, topping the charts, really exerting a lot of presence all across the map. On the Brazilian side, you got Keserato right there behind him. And then Molodoy on the AWP looking pretty stable. This is a picture-perfect scoreboard for the Furia squad. You know, we talked about their run back in Astana. Molodoy getting a play in front of the home crowd. But there were a lot of games there where Fallen ended up feeling way too important on his rifling.
Yeah.
And it was cool seeing him look so good. But you don't want Fallen posting the biggest numbers out of the 3 Brazilian riflers on this squad.
Yeah, true. Calling Fallen Brazilian rifler still feels wrong, but he's been holding his ground. And then Vision might actually make it unscathed to be. They've been trying to do this all half. Can they finally get down in a 5v5 with a player behind main to give them an exit route available?
Yakinda's already been dispatched down towards lower though, and he's blocked them with this smoke. At least buying some time. Molodoy in the feed. And Yakinda ready down at lower.
Just dump your util, just waste all their time here. And it will just confirm what you already know, that they are down secret in numbers. Molodoy's watching B from the ramp side. Or at least he can quickly.
It's actually like really passive from Yakinda here. He's not playing for the early spot. Unorthodox, but he's willing to give them the room and the space, and that's because this lobby clear has come out from Fallen in the downtime. He's confirmed that there's no one outside of A. They're going to deal with the one lurk here. Komisu dead on the extremities. Yakinda surprised at the presence of event player, and this could still get weird. Very little time left for this bomb plant though, and the net closing. There isn't time for this. Furia and a lot of success on this CT half to open up their run in Austin. this is a runaway success for Furia, and it's not even close. There was a couple of moments of doubt in here, some surprising rounds from Limvision they were able to pull off. And really, it felt like they had no business doing so, but for the most part, it's been a Furia showing here on Nuke. 9-3 at the end of that first half, and that's with a pistol round in there for the Limvision squad.
Yeah, a bit of practice paying off, it seems, for Furia. This is not a map that has necessarily been their go-to or been too successful as of late. So nice to see them looking as clean as they did, and all the stars aligning here on the Furia squad. Whereas Limvision just looked a little lost in some T-side rounds. A lot of situations where they're 3-on-5 down. Furia going to up the pace with this top hit. Su has a nice gap, but Fallen just headshots him running out wide. Westmelon trying to hold on to the site, but they've already lost control. They might lose the round. Oh, re-smoke.
Oh, that's just
It's
brutal,
done.
yeah.
That's it. No kit. One flash, blocked at main.
Try and regroup now to go through heaven, but it's so late, and yeah, you're dead on about the no kit. That does cause you a big problem here. You've got to get all these kills so quickly, and you're not even in a position to actually break through.
Furia will get all the kills quickly. Fallen with 4. Su had the perfect position, dodged the molly, still on top of the hut, but they're all outdoor, and he's the only player inside of A. Oh, barely saw him. Fallen were not burdened by rifles. Furia come through with a clean round, so full eco here for Limvision. And Furia don't want to stop. Why would they?
You feeling this kind of weird domino effect on the day, right? It all started Simple looking real good, and we're all saying, okay, Simple's back, FaZe are back, right?
Yeah.
Then next game, Simple's former teammate from Na'Vi and Electronic also has an insane game for Virtus Pro to get their first win.
All right.
Who was VP's best player in the past? Yakindar, who's now also looking lights out in this one.
I'm not sure what conclusion you're drawing there, but
What does that mean in the next game, Hugo?
Well,
Who is more of a link to MIVR and Legacy?
I don't think there's much I can do with that one, Harry. Sorry. Fallen used to play for MIBR, so MIBR are gonna win.
There we go. I think that's how it works.
There's the link somewhere.
Envision, this is it. This is their buy round on the CT side. This is where they have to offer up all the resistance and then some. Furia can make this a very quick turnaround if they knock Limvision down a peg here.
I mean, so far, stage 2 teams coming through with decisive victories, at least on this side of the stream. Can Furia finish what they started this cleanly, or will Limvision do anything in this game? It's been a bit of a sad state of affairs for Limvision. 5-on-4 in this gun round. Furia desperately looking for a pick. Starry feeling like one of the only options. Check from the heaven side. Molotov can't hit the flick. And Starry's back in safekeeping here. Furia just have to go for this main split right now.
Good stuff from Westmelon. He continues to repel this play in through main. So Furia's hopes of finding a way in out in the yard denied by Westmelon.
Just spamming main, it's all he's got right now. It might even be a save, to be honest. Case Rotter's a Mac 10, but they are locked out of this round. So it just kind of fizzles out here for Furia. And they have plenty more chances, but at least Limvision get the buff of economy that they desperately need at this point in the game. Just to mean that Furia, if they follow up and get 12 rounds, Vision can still buy. It's not decided on one gun round now, this game. Oh, and purposeful, no smoke here to let Molodoi fight the cross.
Had the chance there on Unbreakable, but able to stick around is Dari. Tries to throw himself further forward, and that just feeds Molodoi a kill on this AWP.
Pretty wild.
All round centered around Molodoi going for these openers on that orb. And he's throwing him up on the boost as he tries to do even more damage out in the yard.
Look at this bait as well. You can spamming the smoke. K-Serato's already out. They're hoping a player just walks in, and they will into main. Quick trade allowed. K-Serato clearing close. Headshot by the MP9. We're into a 2-on-2. Bomb is gone.
It's the two heavy hitters left in the picture, though, for Furia, Yakindar and Molodoi. The EU imports in this Furia squad, both top in the charts. And they bring it down to this 2v1. Zaka flying solo. Plays in the main to watch this bomb. He's got to beat the AWP up close and then be ready for the turn. And Molodoi just charges at him. 3 kills from Furia's sniper. And now 8 chances to lay this game to rest.
Yeah, I don't think Molodoi thought he'd be there. Last spotted heaven. Quick repause, but Molodoi, they set him up. He succeeds. He ends the round. 12-4. Just a ferocious game from Furia. A reassuring look at a roster that had such a strong honeymoon. But it wasn't just that Astana buff. There's more than meets the eye with this new Furia project.
Very cool that the eye test on Molodoi is still looking great. And, you know, as Northbury kind of gets to call a lot of his own shots and positions, tests his read on the game as well. He's very mobile on that AWP. Putting himself in positions to succeed all game long at nearly 20 kills deep. He has been the AWP to keep an eye on here, and it's been no contest.
Slow out the gate here. Do we have late smokes for Fallen? Looks like a lock of smoke. Out it goes, and Fury gets to cross deep. Starry gets flashed outside, but Yuri's more than ready for that. Fury have anti-flash. 5-on-4, moving in, getting a lot of control right now. Zach is trying to stop this. Yuri's got different ideas, going up and over inside of the locker. Lobby taken, K-Serato patrolling, and he's got the info. That's worth its weight in gold. They're going to try backstab the lobby take. What a move for Yuri. Ooh. 20 seconds, boys.
Lowest side taken during all this, though, and K-Serato's flank might be unaccounted for. He's coming in so late off T-Roof.
They might not make it that far.
Yakindar taking first contact. K-Serato fires off early. This applies a lot of pressure onto these players at ramp. They have to pick a battle. They have to fight forward here into the site, around this smoke, and right in to the waiting gun ones of Yakinda. Molodoy gonna nail the follow-up, and Westmelon moves into a lost sight, no control, no position, and Molodoy sends him packing. That orb closes and seals the deal for Furia as they dominate in this opening map.
21-5 on Molodoy at his first major, and what a performance to start off stage 2 for Furia. Everyone shooting hard. Fallen even had his moments when required, but the story will read Yakinda and Molodoy put on a show in this map of Nuke. Linvision, bit of an underwhelming look, getting very lost on those T sides. A lot of 3-on-5s they couldn't really turn around, and we hope to see more from them in the later BO1s. Really, the focus for me is Furia and how far they can go here, whether they can take down some of the top teams.
Yeah, you know, and I think with how these results are shaping up, there's not been slow starts today. It's clear that everyone is coming into this major in Austin with a point to prove.
Furia get a big win to start things off over Linvision here, and I saw as you were leaving the booth, you were telling your teammates you're going to find them. What happened?
Yeah, just like some friendly banter. There was one round where we went out, we rushed A on pistol round or on the Eco against Eco, and then we were watching Heaven, me and Fallen, we're like communicating, boom, 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 playing off you, what are we doing, like this. Suddenly I'm getting killed from main, and we're 5 alive. And I just said, like, whoever sold me that round, I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna, yeah, but just friendly banter. You know what you know.
You gotta let them know. Make sure it doesn't happen again, right? Yeah, I understand that. For you though, I gotta have a temperature check on this. You're still playing native. You're still feeling good. You're still locked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything.
No
everything.
changes.
Yes, everything. All the same. All the back. I'm back. I'm getting King Snake gloves. The real OGs are gonna remember that during VP times I was playing with King Snake gloves, so I'm going back.
So you're actually back in every way, even down to the gloves.
Yeah, maybe not height or something, but yeah, but everything else, what's in my control, yeah.
Now, how is it for you right now? Obviously, having some time to boot camp, prepare for this event as well, some more time for Molodoy to get used to things. Are you feeling fresh? Are you feeling like things are still working in that right way? Because I guess one question I personally had was like, was Astana a bit of a honeymoon or not?
I think Astana was a great showing of our capabilities. I think when a team plays like that in their first tournament, it definitely shows that they have a natural understanding between each other, natural synergy. And obviously after Dallas, after the jet lag, after the whole long travel, playing the first game and whatever, and then we kind of gassed out a little bit during Dallas, and after we had a two-week boot camp in Miami. Which it was sick, sunny, and all this. But the most important part is that towards the end of the bootcamp, we felt ready, and we had all our maps ready. We started winning scrims against good teams, and we know what we are capable. And I'm glad we're starting on a hot start.
Definitely a hot start. And I got to ask this, because obviously Molodoy's been learning his English, improving on it. But when it comes down to just you and him, does it switch to Russian just to make it easier, or are you trying to force him into the English mode?
No, I don't believe in this like forcing and everything. Like, especially in official matches, you try to do everything 100%. And for us, 100% is speaking Russian, for us to understand each other.
Nice. Well, the development's looking good. A great start for Fury here. Let's see how it continues.
Well, a beautiful run from Furia stepping into this show, and they're going to have a very good level led by the 2 new recruits. And you know, Maui, there always must be 2, one to have power and one to seek it. Molodoy and Yakinda, absolute beast mode in this game.
Was that a Star Wars reference?
It was a Star Wars reference, yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. We can see with Furia and their jerseys, they have indeed gone to the dark side, and that dark side is going international. But it is working for them, okay? This new Furia look is good for them. I mean, 2 top fraggers are, of course, their new imports. That being said, no one really slacking on the Furia side. They were in control of many of the situations there. They were the ones that were actually outplaying Linvision throughout many of the situations, just killing Linvision players in the side of the head and everything like that. So good mechanics on display and good understanding of what's going on across the map.
When I looked at the stats just before the game ended, it was K-Serato, Molodoy, and Yakinda had like 12 opening kills to the 2 of Linvision like so far in the map. And it's just like, you're not going to win games. But also, it's cool to see that out of the young player of Molodoy being aggressive and assertive with the op, Yakinda getting back into his groove. But also, like, that seems to be some of the pieces that Fury was missing previously, was having that kind of like really aggressive, like someone who's just going to go take charge of things.
Yeah, no.
And that taking charge is working out very well for him right now. I do like just some of the personal side. I know I'm a vibes guy with this, but the fact that they can have this banter, like Yakinda was saying, because I was thinking, like, what the hell are they talking about going into that? This is a positive sign for a strange mix of players to come together.
The Furia guys before Astana had immaculate vibes. They looked like they already loved each other, and we hadn't even seen them play a map. They ended up in the semifinals of that tournament. Feels like they're continuing a lot of that energy here. Molodoy is being welcomed by Yakindar, helping onboard him in that they have a shared culture there of just understanding of Eastern European,
He's so
Central
lucky
Asian
for that
culture.
as well, though, because there's not many places you'll get given that opportunity, right, when you have to kind of slot in.
I mean, Yakindar's the Molodoy whisperer.
Sure. I mean, actually, I think the one person we should give the most credit to is Fallen, because it takes a significant amount of what's even the word? It takes a very humble person who's a legend of the game like Fallen is for so long, who's in-game led teams into major trophies, to say, I'm not good enough as an AWPer for today's Counter-Strike. I need to step back so somebody else can step into this place and actually start to develop them. And I think that's a super impressive thing for a player to do. You don't see that very often from a player of Fallen's pedigree.
That's a great point, because we've seen other IGLs sort of bash their head in the wall as they try to make their system work regardless of the outcome, and think that the people around them are the ones that are not really living up to their vision. Fallen adapts his vision, just like Apex did, and the reason that some of these long-standing IGLs, like including Kerrigan, have been around for so long is that it's adapt or die in Counter-Strike. Even though this game is very simple at its most basic elements, you do have to follow the meta. You have to change a few things about how you interact with the map, what's more important in map control, mid, or like a extremity position. Like, knowing all of that is so vital.
And there's a lot of, like, I mean, with any kind of philosophy you have in Counter-Strike, there's going to be some positives and negatives to it. And Fallen has always had the philosophy when he comes in that he wants his players to be comfortable, he wants his star players to be able to do whatever they want. The bad side of that is sometimes Fallen lets them get a little bit too out of control and break out of the system. And the good side of that is when you have the players like this that can actually deserve the freedom, and you actually put players in a position where they're going to be way more comfortable and way more effective.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see what Fury can do with this lineup and what they can do here in Austin. But for now, we're going to a break, and when we come back, it's Legacy taking on MIBR for a South American brawl. Lux, from being in a position where you were not expected to be at the majors to now making it through to stage 2, how are you guys just processing and going through all the emotions that this has?
I mean, like, I think we didn't process it at all. We're just living day by day, game by game, you know, and yeah, we gave everything this season. We couldn't make to the major, but now we got a second chance, and we are proving that we can be here, we can beat the teams, and yeah, let's go.
Do you feel like you don't really have the same pressure and stress as maybe some other teams have?
Yeah, for sure, because we didn't qualify, you know, so everything we make, it's like a bonus. It's a bonus for the semester as well because of the VRS points, you know, and yeah, we had no pressure at all.
Exit, we last saw you guys in Astana. I know you've been in Portugal boot camping and getting ready for this. You've had a bit of extra time. How good has that been, and how much time did you boot camp? Did you get any rest in between?
We get like 2 days of rest, but we spent like the other 10 days probably working a lot. Like we try to improve our game because it's a major. It's everyone's dream. So we played CS 24 hours per day, and I think we are very confident and we just wanna show coming here and step up.
For coming here and stepping up, I want to ask about your confidence also off the back of Astana, because obviously you guys made it to the stage. I know it's not the result you would have wanted, but how important was just that event and those victories before coming to Austin?
It was very important. It was like a confidence boost for us because we played good games there. I think we could see that we are in the good path to be a good team. So of course we are not close to the level that we want to play. But we were going there, and I think going to playoffs in Astana was really good for us, and I think everyone was like kind of happy with the results, but we saw that we could go further in the tournament.
Now, as you've been on boot camp, as you've been learning and growing, does it feel now that you guys have a better understanding of how everyone wants to play under your leadership? Because it was still felt like at times MIBR was sometimes lost on what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I think so. We had like lots of conversations about that. Me as an IGL, I like to get my players playing like the way they want to play, like in the comfortable zone. So we had lots of talks, and I think everyone is like comfortable inside the game right now. And I gave them a lot of freedom to get some space and things like that. And I think it's gonna be good for us. And
Battle of Brazil here in Austin. MIBR getting ready to take on Legacy. And yeah, you know, Legacy making it to this point, being at the major, they did wild stuff to make it all the way to stage 2 after kind of luck of the draw to get here. But now they face MIBR, a squad that have always had a lot of promise, but have struggled at sticking the landing, Hugo.
Yeah, a more recent success, right? But the highs aren't as high as some of the other teams, and the lows are pretty low, as we've seen for some of these Brazilian squads, right? They've had great majors gone by, but MIBR, they're at least favorites of this one, Harry. Legacy, I think it's a shock to even see them in stage 2. Squeezing through on that final day was very impressive over the wildcard boys, as we saw North America struggle to progress here in Austin. South America have had no problem, at least with these Brazilian squads. Plenty of them here in stage 2. Good vibes right now for Legacy, who are seizing the opportunity and trying to run as far as they can with it. And a domestic matchup is always exciting because while you may have Legacy in your 0-3 for this stage, we often see how, you know, head-to-heads with familiar teams can often go the way of the underdog. So MIBR have to stay focused here. And a huge bit of expectation on someone like Insani to carry them through. Brazil's hottest prospect. This fake is working wonders right now, drawing the ramp player down. Oh, good cover though. Breno keeps that B site intact, then they hear the rush.
Insani steals himself away, but out of ammo now, has to get the fresh mag in, and that's where they'll chase him down. Only Nissim left, and there's exit from the heavens to seal the deal on that pistol. Even though the fake tries to pull them down into that lower site, Breno does a great job of removing any doubt from the minds of MIBR.
Surprised Insani even gets a headshot as well. Force up here from Legacy with no plot. It's a bold call. But looks like they want to go for a quick ace split. Main drop given away. Safe overwhelmed by 2 players outside. They might slow down off that kill. Lots of damage has been done to these yard players. They tuck in. Bomb coming back outside to regroup. Nissim made it down the vent. Good catch.
Yeah, you found a bunch of these kind of gaps, right? But now you have to hope you get the reactions you want here if you're Legacy. And MIBR have no reason to react yet. They still have players trapped out here in the yard. That means that Nissim, all he's really done from the vent drop is be able to walk up, clear out Secret, sure. But I don't know how he's going to help out in this battle onto Insani. Player on top of the main roof, spotted and dealt with, and now the bomb seen crossing. And because Nissim came to act as a bodyguard here on the trip down through Secret, wasn't able to hold vent or these lower rotates in the downtime. Only just getting there again now. So the lower site should be contained for MIBR. They've got 2 players down here already.
Kowsey hiding out as well, can play late if they plant open. Gonna get mollied, that's a bit awkward. Got some cover from above, lets him get out of the corner, but Sadzin runs him down. Tech9s find a way into this B-bomb site, and Legacy break another face to get them in a 2-on-1. Bomb stuck backside, and Sonny's got his easy kill, and he's got the element of surprise.
Doesn't have a kit to work with, but there is a lot of pressure on Dumao right now to close distance. Moving on in, he's already at the double doors. They've been swung open, but Insani's called his bluff.
I love that.
That is wild. The 10-second stick doesn't fall for the pressure of the doors being opened right behind him.
Never even turns. He heard him running his way. He hears doors swing, but the call must be in. Like, this last play is low. He's not going to fight you. He's going to try and play that bomb, play tricky. So Insani with a great read. And from someone who is so reliable with his aim, has so much firepower, you would really expect him to take that fight there. But with no kids, he knows he can get played with. Legacy laugh it off, but that was a big opportunity squandered.
Tinha o cara montanha, ele ia cair em cima do terra rápido, provavelmente. Ele caiu, no caso.
Full wall. And Legacy hesitant to go down. Looks like they want this top side instead. Again, slipping through these smokes and into the A site. Plenty of players here to receive. Rotates it quick, and round is quicker. MIBR 3-0.
X handled himself very well there, right? The player sneaking in through main hit a gap and got past Insani. They had no idea there could be a player in main, so that's Exit, like, raw reaction to the first man flung his way, even able to double up and contain the hut spillover. Like, that gets really weird if Exit dies any faster. And so MIBR able to contain that. Little partial investment from the Legacy squad, but now you have Sadzin on this AWP. He gave some great games for Legacy back in stage one. Going to be an important character in this one. So let's see if he can hit the ground running. AWP fast as possible here on the T side.
Oh, MIBR have been breaking these smokes consistently, getting very close. Saturn's orb over the top of the red box, has a player pinned in spawn, although he doesn't know it. Big opening kill backside to Exit. And a risky gap for safe. The orb is protruding outside. Legacy getting given nothing in the yard. Very patient, and it might just pay off.
I mean, MIBR are so ready to receive on the top side that if they do bypass safe, they're still going into a triple top hold from MIBR. So no matter which way they go, Legacy are going to be scrapping and battling every step of the way. Safe even gets up into the heavens in time. There's the lineup. This crossfire is just too strong. Very well handled from MIBR, working within the confines of being a man down.
Yeah, they're really not panicking in these late rounds, because what Legacy are doing often is, you know, starting heavy lobby and then coming really late outside with multiple players. And MIBR are never thinking, oh, it's quiet, they're just sitting in lobby, we can push outside, we can take fights. They're kind of just giving Legacy all the room, and Legacy are walking into stacks. Happen on both sites now. Some good crossfires there on A. And Safe remaining mobile when he realizes they're not wrapping heaven. So this is Legacy just spamming timeouts now. Trying to solve this problem. It's getting a little scary at 4-0. Pistol armor, maybe time to up the pace. Oh,
Nearly awkward for safe.
that's the bomb.
Smokes go down, and so Lato's still able to make it past. Thankfully, the bomb not lost out in the yard. And Rotate starting to scramble towards lower. This is the first time, really, for MIBR where it feels like they've been caught out a little bit here, right? Usually, they've been one step ahead of Legacy in these moves all across the map. But it's the sheer number of players that made it across with those yard smokes. And
I mean, yeah, how do you win this? You're hunting outside players. Nissim is ready to just play on ramp and kill everyone. He's in no hurry.
yeah, and you just wasted all that time chasing down Sadzin on a Glock outside.
Weirdly enough, they're going to win with pistols and they won't even get the upgrades. MIBR are going to get out. You know, fair enough for Nissim to not play there. He doesn't want to go too early and give MIBR the kills that might beckon them back in, but MIBR kind of cool it off immediately, just out of position. Finally caught off guard, finally a pacier round for Legacy. It works wonders. How often do you see a round like that where they get out with 4 surviving with 1 rifle? But at least MIBR are decisive with the save call. Oh, you feel that one.
It's a round you can laugh off if you're MIBR, providing you don't let this be where Legacy get their second wind, right? Because that's a hell of a round for them to find. Doing it with mostly pistols, the 1 kill in the round coming from a Glock. And so, yeah, this is MIBR looking for a bit of revenge. They bring the fight to Legacy. They go fighting for that lobby control. Outside Safe is holding it down on the AWP. He's even searching for a little bit more. Needs the smoke open. They spot 1 player crossing. Orb will deal with Safe outside. 2 versus 4 turns 2v3. And MIBR bring everyone down towards lower. But these vent drops were loud. That was heard by Legacy. So they'll explore this A site. Only the dink out of Lukowski. Sadzin is pulling this round back for Legacy.
Scramble now. We've got Exit on a flank timing, which is actually pretty good. Might be able to find this AWPer trying to cover the bomb plant, but he goes back for more. Sadzin misses that timing. Back to heaven. Teammate below the bomb site. 3rd kill in the round for Sadzin. This backstab has to happen, but he's tucked in the corner. Exit's given nothing. Bomb getting stalled out right now while they wait for the kill to come to them, and so Exit doesn't feel the burden. No hurry needed. He could be anywhere, and he knows he has Sadzin trapped in. Not a shadow of a doubt. As he shoots him in the back, bomb can be stuck.
It's awkward though. That's what they were waiting for, the info. You know, where is Exit? They had to pay the price to get that information, and so now Lato required to finish the job that Sadzin started. Exit to go up against his whole squad looking on as he tries to recover this round that felt like it was in the bag. Exit can't stick the landing. And Lato does right by Sadzin after they turn around that 2v4. That's now 2 in a row for Legacy. Starting to find their form here on Nuke.
A lot of noise coming out of Legacy, knowing how important that round is. You said it yourself last round. It's fine to lose that anti-eco, but don't let that build into something problematic. And the AWP is put to use. 3 huge kills and the closing clutch to keep Legacy in control. Springboarding off of an eco win. MIBR have been caught off guard. Deer in headlights, down to pistols. Oh dear, oh dear.
Eu não tenho anti-air, você.
I like that MIBR don't full force here. They still have 2K per player after pistol armor, so can actually get a pretty sizable buy come the next. The Legacy are awake right now. Oh, hello. Didn't hear that drop. Didn't even turn around. That's freaky. It's out the map. Can he get it?
Oh no.
It's unlucky.
Well, hopefully that doesn't have earth-shattering consequences here.
They dropped the smokes anyway, so they've got enough to cross. Nice opener. Sadzin looking to carry Legacy through this T side right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was him who was looking real sharp back in that first stage for Legacy. Sadzin not been shy of having these super high impact games.
I like this setup.
They're ready for a heavy stack in at lower. Double layered peak here available from top and bottom of the rafters. They get past that first man and Breno getting pincered. It's good stuff from Lux and Lato to keep the pressure on. And that gap is closing. This initial 4-0 start for MIBR, a distant memory. Now it's a one-round game. And it all started with that loss to the low econ round from Legacy, where the only kill found was from a Glock. Round immediately after, 4v2 for MIBR, also unable to close out that one. And so that's two, you know, very good positions to find yourself in, given up. And Legacy now jumping at the bit to continue closing this distance.
Yeah, absolutely sees this opportunity. Especially if Sadzin's going to keep finding you opening kills. Safe's got his AWP. Full blind. Looks like they still want to go. They've lost the first man on this top hit, but this is turning into a very limp execute right now, where MIBR get to force the plays. 2 picks into the lobby. Legacy trapped.
Yeah, a bit awkward, bit stubborn there for Legacy, just trying to follow through, as you say, on that top site here. But it stalled out, it went weird. And now a 5-on-3 for MIBR. Look, they've failed this round once already. They can't afford for that to happen again. The bomb is down lower on the back of Sadzin.
The open window is terrifying, but it also gives you a chance to get a kill.
Look at MIBR trying to stay one step ahead. They've got 3 players down here on the lowest side of the map. And so Sadzin is operating within some small margins, but he will get that turnaround on a safe. Wild way for these AWPers to meet.
A safe step or something, he suddenly just flicked like he's ready, scoped in. Easy kill.
This is awkward. That's bomb spotted, but now if anyone else gets a kill on the extremities, MIBR won't really know what's happening in this round, especially that they don't have this ramp control. That bomb could have left at any moment.
3v5 is cooking.
And as mentioned, MIBR have lost one of these already. So there are some nerves setting in, but that swing from Lukowski looks to alleviate any pressure on this round. He's dropped the bomb. Left Umau in a rough spot. Oh my goodness, 2-on-2.
He's not planting.
Kills on either side, but Dumau doesn't try and go for the plant. They'd already committed to the save.
Counter-terrorists win. I don't know why you wouldn't try. I mean, he heard, I guess, the player come out single door, but had time to force a kill. I guess he wanted the only guarantee, and that was keeping the AWP. Very strange round for Legacy. That felt like such a winnable 3-on-5, but Sadzin never got offered the support he needed. Never got another rotate till it was too late. And so, Legacy call it off late in the round and give MIBR another.
Was an awful amount of respect shown from Legacy there. Let's see if it was worth the risk. They at least get out of the round with that AWP, put it back in the hands of Sadzin. For a squad whose success has come from winning these unwinnable rounds in this game, well, that feel like a big missed opportunity. Doom out. One of the guys to call it off in the last, tries to play first out in the yard with that Sadzin AWP alongside him. Insani gonna go fish out in the yard and look for something here as he crosses into garage. Just trying to peek around these smokes, see if for a moment he's able to find anything out in the yard. He's hoping he's got the element of surprise here.
I mean, so many of these rounds for Legacy are them just giving room for their AWPer, giving him time to look for an opening kill. No one's playing aggressive. No one's risking their life. It's all on Sadzin right now. If he doesn't get given this kill as MIBR turtle up, what do Legacy do? 45 seconds, and they've got no idea. That's a flash play that sets Lux up, and that tempts Legacy in 5v4. Time is always the issue. It seems like they're gonna have to just split this A bomb site. That or vent. Safe will not let them in for free, but he's traded quick.
Yeah, the instant trade gives Legacy a reason to go for this. They've dealt with that first A-side player. They're ready for exit, tucked in at the back of the site. He's gonna buy some serious time, knock out some serious numbers, and it's just the one and done. No. Dead straight away as Sadzin covers Lukowski coming up through the vent. Breno, 1 versus 3, pulling up into a lost top site. 2 players here boxed in at the back. The AWP providing cover. Breno thins the herd, but it won't be enough. And so an immediate return of success for Legacy.
Yeah, you feel like if MIBR never go for the info play, that never unravels, right? And Sani dying outside just opened up the split into A. Right as Legacy had to go, they get given the golden ticket to walk out that door, and no one in main to stop him. Really liking what we're getting from Sadzin. He had a great previous stage, as you said. And he's finding, even when it's just 1 kill in the round, a very impactful kill. Legacy know the value of their AWP. Again, letting him open.
I also think it's really good, like you've turned one of MIBR's greatest strengths in Insani into feeling like a bit of a weakness. In a lot of these rounds, he's been the one to fall out in the yard in these man advantage positions, often being one of the first deaths. And I think that comes down to, like you say, Sadzin being given room to roam. Hang on a second, these pistols are making it interesting.
Well, they were. No longer. No longer. Should know. Lasso cleans it up.
Yeah, you know the kind of player Insani is, right? He is the star. He likes to be mobile. He likes to take fights. And so screw it. Sick the AWP on him, right? Put Sadzin, someone who's been in great form for Legacy, out in the yard and just have him roam, looking for Insani as he goes for these info plays, as he goes for these flash peeks. That's where you're wanting the AWP to punish. It was him who fell first in that very first round that Legacy put on the board with the pistols. He dies to the Glock out in the yard. In that 4v2, it was when he started roaming that gave up the man advantage.
Yeah, it might be I want to play their own game, but oh my god, both AWPs cross past each other, neither knows, and they walk in. Really awkward for Nissim, as his teammate was too soon on that angle. they're not ready to help Dumao out on this A side. So while he lurks behind smokes, he's operating on his own.
This is really nice conditioning from Legacy. They know that, like, with bullying Insani outside so much, they've likely forced a bit of a switch to his game plan, and that did afford them more room, but Insani is able to piece it together.
What a clear. He has no idea.
That's awkward.
Sorry.
Lato's been spotted getting out to the vent. The fact he isn't punished is insane. Lato lucky to still be in this round.
Just shifted into the A site and out of the A site like it's nothing. MIBR stacked to the nines up here. 3 players in top side. Trying to find a pick again with the AWP. It's really all they've got. You could argue for a save right now. That's how dire this round is starting to look. But they've got a bit of money. So maybe they want to give it a go. Kowsey, feel like this position should be good for one. Legacy stalled out right now. Legs grabbed. Dragged downtown. And Satin probably should save here, but they're going to come for him. Here we go.
Knocking the AWP out would have huge ramifications, right? Sadzin's been instrumental. A lot of these rounds are centered around Sadzin being the guy to open it up. And so they really want to try and take this AWP out of play. Setting on Sadzin. He hits a blinder before he goes, but that AWP is removed from the ranks of Legacy.
I mean, on one hand, yes, super worth it. You've removed the best piece of the buy for Legacy, but they also lost their AWP in the process. They didn't pick it back up, so MIBR don't even have the money to have an AWP their own. So you just removed everyone's AWPs. Maybe still worth it here as we go into the last round of the half. It's just a couple of rifles, a couple of pistols here for Legacy. Trying to stay in this half. 5 is fine, 6 would be great.
And Insani's done a really good job of realizing over time that their game plan hinges around finding him out in the yard, and so he's changed how he's been playing it. Starting off these rounds over towards Secret, gets to pick and choose his battle a little bit more, no longer at the mercy of the yard smokes. And Insani just farms up against these pistols. So MIBR, they will get back to their winning ways. They go on to win out this half at 7 of 5. MIBR trying to show Legacy why they get to start a cut above in stage 2. After some wild rounds in there, Legacy do their best work from the back foot. It felt like able to cook up an unorthodox win with just pistols, winning a couple of 2vx's in there as well. All in all, though, MIBR were able to stabilize and went on to win out that first half. Now they go over to this T side. A little sprinkling of util in the pistol. Let's see what kind of pace we get out of MIBR.
Going solo as well with 2 players. Trying to get tricky with it, perhaps on the drop through this main smoke. Waiting for the time to strike. MIBR start to erupt on this A split. Lukowski falls in, back's turned, they don't clear the corner, but Lux with some ugly shots that Julies might have to carry them through. Lato uncleared and threatening. 2 shots in the back of the head. MIBR, it stalls out into the stack. And Legacy with a pistol in their pocket. Maybe we have something here. Was a very slow T side for Legacy. And now MIBR have to tussle with that. Up. Oh. Had the drop go for the kill. Okay. 3 seconds. Look, I don't want to say he can win it, but let's see if they give him some fights. Down the vent, down the vent, down the vent.
Oh my God, hold on a second.
I'm scared.
Safe as the bomb now, 10 seconds left to work with. Gonna have time to get this planted in at lower. 1v4 as this begins for Safe. They run him down, and that's exactly what's required to slow his roll. Oh my God, you can't say you weren't believing for a second. But in the end, Legacy will make up for it.
A huge win for Safe in and of itself. 1v4, and he gets 2 kills and a bomb plant. AWP money, plus the chance to force now for MIBR has been opened up by that bomb. So, very nice try. Sadly, they chase him down. There's no way he can even get another fight. So they will buy. You don't waste this kind of opportunity. But it has to land. Selling back a little, getting a Mac 10 in last second. They're going for something poppy. Bit of hopium.
Start they wanted though. Sads in from the rafters. Teammates here to lend a helping hand. Lato with the extinguish gets gun on in time. One back for Breno.
Do it again.
All right, Safe. You got to do it once more. 1v4, and they need another bomb plant. They want more money. Safe got to provide for the whole family right now.
Lato's kill. Trying to get in their heads. Getting loud. It was a nice exec for MIBR, but not only is it stacked for Legacy, they molly out the best position, which is Lato's above the hut on the rafter, but he just smokes the molly and stays in that spot. If anything, the smoke gives him more cover from door. He's able to get a couple of kills up there, so falls by the wayside. MIBR, 1 full eco nearly. Well, 5 deagles, no Kevlar. Legacy looking to take the lead.
Setup's looking good here from Legacy too. They're very ready to fight outside. The one engagement that could give a bit of pause is this one, Breno versus the MP9 at ramp. Even then though, it's a hard fight for him to win and get past. If he does, the round opens up, but if it ends up going down in the yard first, yeah, that's exactly what Legacy want. Swift cleanup outside, as it's only Breno in a world of hurt. He'll go back to the fight that nearly started it all. This one over towards ramp. He's unable to get it. That's Legacy now in the lead after going 5-7 down on the half.
Very impressive when you consider how this game started as well, but it's kind of followed for MIBR in the sense that we had these 4 spies at the start of the T side.
Like weren't even supposed to be here. The idea that they grind through the first stage, now they're in this position to take their opening map. They're in pole position, coming back versus MIBR, a team they are familiar with.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a perfect storm for a Legacy upset here to open things up in stage 2.
Good point. Would be a crazy way to kick off this second stage.
That's the saying goes. It feels like they're playing with house money right now.
Okay, Lux, they are holding right now. Finding peak is good. The shot is not so much. Safe having a struggle will finally finish that. And you definitely take the space outside. You know it's going to be clear with that deep push. Fakes a step, goes back to lobby. They will be grouping for this yard control now, knowing Lux is dead. 4 and 12. MIBR have a lot of room to take. Just going to look
also a lot of ground to cover though, right? Doing this quietly, not going to leave themselves with a hell of a lot of time here. 40 seconds left on this clock. As Exit's lobbing in a bit of a fake out towards the top site. But D-Mao got the info, and so Legacy aren't falling for this. They've already got a player down in B. Sad's in here on the Famous. There is a world where you could try and come up through the vent, but Exit isn't in a position to help with that.
Yeah, it would be such a risky move at this point in the round, having no support from the lobby at all. They almost have to go down into B. Could they really risk it? Molly in the vent, so they're committed now. 10 seconds. Good position. Sadin does a lot of damage, and that nade will stop the plant. Smoke blown open. Nissim gets his kill, and this one falls apart for MIBR. The hilarious part is, if they went up the vent, there was no one there. The energy. Dumao letting them know from the start of this game, now to Legacy in the lead, been shouting the house down.
I mean, this is starting to hurt for MIBR, right? They were the squad that could have run away with this. They were the guys in a great spot, gave over a couple of weird rounds, but then you felt like they made up for it. They close out the half 7 of 5. They come into the second here, but everything's come up Legacy since that point. It was this MIBR squad, you know, last major back in Shanghai that showed us a lot of promise, but then ended up falling short, lacking the depth, lacking the map pool. This is supposed to be them, you know, 6 months on from that, having grown, having improved. And so fielding a loss to the Brazilian squad that weren't even supposed to be here in your opening game of stage 2 is not the start MIBR wanted.
Oh, it's getting desperate. Pop through the ramp smoke, bit of a gap. Going either way, jumping the corner. It sets up for a trade. There's an AWP moving in. If they can pluck one out, that would go a long way in this round. Or Sadzin rather, as they spill out into B. Dumao caught by this hero AK. Exit putting it to use, taking matters into his own hands, and the backstab sweetens the deal. 2v4, Legacy thinking about saving. But Lato is here. He's
Lato is very kind of committed to this lower side of the map. So for the time being, Sadzin's trying to chase down Insani on this lurk, leaving a 1v3 for Lato in at lower. First kill comes through. Insani still wasting time. There's a second player hunting here.
1v1.
And now they know about this. And if Sadzin can just waste time here, that would be huge. Lato's tried to play his hand now, knowing this 1v1 for lower was a thing, but it's not given over. He can't secure it. And so round slips by. It's a low econ pickup for MIBR, a much needed win on this T side.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't just go right for the bomb there, tap it, force the peak of that last player, and then you have a chance. You have a 1v1 for the whole round. But nonetheless, MIBR make it work. It's all exit with his double opening kill off of that hero AK. Very important round for MIBR because this was starting to swell out of control. And I'll get on this early because Lux is struggling. It hasn't felt like it's mattered too much with Legacy coming back in this, but he's 4 and 13 and he's the yard player. So we can't have him staying completely quiet in the CT side. He will have to find impact in some of these rounds. Down B, Sadzin's wide. He hits his and he gets out with a block as well. 5v4 Legacy, comfortable yet again. Tiptoeing out ramp. Bomb is back in spawn.
I mean, this is space that Legacy know they've given up, and so Sadzin isn't going to jump the gun on moving back in.
But are they aware of heaven? No one... Info for Lux. Won't overplay it.
Oh, there's a bit of movement happening here out in the yard as well.
It's a chess game right now.
Nissim trying to figure out where the next strike's coming from, and he chooses correctly. Exit up through Secret is showing the door. And here's the support from heaven. Lux provides Overwatch for his garage player. It's only safe left, 1 versus 5. And he's going nowhere quick. He just wants to save this AWP. Legacy secure double digits, and it's the fashion in which they get there that's impressive. That's a 5 alive round. Money accrued on this CT side and building up now. MIPR have got a grind laid out ahead of them.
Some real sneaky positions taken by MIBR, but every single one of them shot in the back or the side of the head. They could never get comfortable. Nice to see Lux get his first impact round yet. As I said, he would be required on the CT side. Stress coming in for MIBR because that's a reset round after their first in the T side. Means it's almost now or never. If MIBR fall in this one, they're going to be broke.
Yeah, this is the round where you got to bring your A game. Test of exit as well. What's his read on the situation? Where does he think the gap exists? Out in the yard, Safe has provided them an opener. A much needed 5v4 here for the side of MIBR. They set their sights on this cross in a secret. Dumau's already dropped down, but fighting from within the vents. He's here fighting to his death, and maybe Lato's death as well. First player spotted. They know about Lato still in this position. That's the bomb tumbling away from MIBR. The AWP up next to try and get this trade. Safe with a critical miss. And the vent drop. Oh, it's considered. Lato, head on a swivel. This guy's on for the ace. Is he ready for Breno? Gun picked up. Lato. This round, he's the sole architect of it. 4 kills deep, finally knocked out. Breno left up in the clutch, has a 1v2 rolled out ahead of him and no info where both these players are. Gonna Try and head up in towards the top side. First clears the lobby with the last remaining dregs of time he has left. It's the AWP in the heavens facing first. Breno's got to be ready for this. 15 seconds as he walks out now. And the AWP will get taken down a peg. MIBR and their hopes hinge on Breno picking up this clutch. The whole game feels like it's resting on this. If MIBR want to keep fighting, Breno needs to win this. Was holding on to the vent, but just leaves the angle, and that's right as Nissim moves in. That could have been the clutch over, the round over right there. And MIBR still in with chances. Instead, Nissim gets to play a tap. Gets to play around this bomb. Molly dropped in at the heart, and playing right through it is Breno, who in his dying breath locks in that round. Locks in that clutch and keeps MIBR in this game.
Unbelievable. After the 4K down in vents for Lato, it still is not enough to win the round. Breno eats that Molotov and Nissim a fatal mistake. Off that bomb, looking for the fight. And giving Breno exactly what he needs to win that round. MIBR have been gifted a lifeline, they cannot waste it. What a disastrous round to lose.
Yeah, as far as that is concerned, he'd already done enough to win the game, right? 4 kills, he was 1 shy of the ace. You'd never feel like that round should be going against you, but a 1v3 from Breno, and it's fired him up. He's in with a double kill on the entry. There's his team in behind him. MIBR have found their second wind.
Oh, if this
After a 1v3 clutch, we go straight into a double entry from Breno to tie up this game at 10-all.
This is really how MIBR just suddenly get activated off the back of that high impact clutch. And then string together some rounds after Legacy were looking to perform yet another upset here at the Dorna stage 2.
And all those good graces from the clean rounds on this CT side don't matter anymore, right? It was going to be a grind for MIBR, but they've broken through the bank. They've broken through the money of Legacy. This late in the game, that is a big problem for this Legacy squad. This save is a requirement. These guns are what they have to hit with in that next round.
Terrorists win. Too close to call right now, but MIBR certainly have pep in their step after a clutch into a rush. They've got the momentum. And Legacy, life on the line right now, have nothing to play with but those saved weapons. Cannot risk the economy here.
Having the AWP around like this is very, very useful. Sadzin wants to try and make a play early, put this AWP to work, and you're not ready for that angle out of the enemy AWPer. Insani caught by the aggression outside. The rest of MIBR try and react quickly now that they've learned where that AWP lay. However, Sadzin's been super quick on this reposition. You hear someone tagging the molly like that, every bone in your body tells you that's an AWP looking for that next kill. And so MIBR slow their roll.
Ooh, pick up as well. More guns for Lato with the game he's having. This could go very wrong for MIBR as they creep into the B-bomb site. Nissim and Dumal side, or Crossfire rather, established. He can go through that smoke, through the left window that's already broken if he wants. Door getting open. There are 3 players on this B-bomb site right now. MIBR better watch out.
Nissim trying to make the play that wins the round. His teammates take the contact. That was meant to tee him up for a multi-kill, but he only gets out with 1. Still, MIBR feel very boxed in. They have no control anywhere else on the map. Everywhere else they try and turn poses its own risks, its own uncertainties. They've spotted a couple of players in at lower, and that might be enough for them to make up their mind.
Good rotation.
Legacy try and get one step ahead of this, moving out proactively. They go early on these rotates, quick to abandon that lower side of the map. They've now got 3 in A in time, including this AWP, but the first shot misses. Lux with this gun puts it to use, and Lato tries to close the gap. Moving in through the heavens, this is the 1v1 right there. That was his golden opportunity, and he will lock it in. Legacy with a couple of hero guns and pistols, do not give up that lead.
Oh, you can't say MIBR haven't had a chance to win this game right now. The fact that Legacy are now in the lead off the back of that, it feels meant to be an upset right there for the taking. That is a sickening round to lose for MIBR. And Legacy just such faith in their rotations as well. Full B stack, MIBR see it, and Legacy go full A stack, and MIBR walk right into it. Love that Lato plays the long con there as well, even gives Lux the gun so he can go for the risky play on low health and flank heaven. It's what wins him the round. And the orb doesn't have to be a one-man army. Rifles are picking up steam as well for Legacy. Both teams have just had horrendous money in this half. It has been so back and forth, and it's not going to get much better. MIBR, Orb, and a Deagle in the same round. Anyway, that's one way to do it. Bottom of the board, and he puts them to bed.
So our animated he got as well in the cams, right? The double kill like that outside in the penultimate round is a big deal. And Legacy, they've had one of these missteps before, right? Where the multi-kill was all in vain. Ever since that point, they really don't want to repeat it. And so now they just tighten up. They play this 5-on-3. They know the pressure is on MIBR.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go for MIBR. Even though B is an option, there's a player just getting information on that lower hallway. So MIBR have nowhere to go right now. Nowhere safe, nowhere guaranteed. And they know this player's still garage side, but they can't find him. Lux is crouched in. His round is over. He's just going to waste their time.
Some of these crossfires out in the yard have been really good for Legacy as well, and I'm sure that's something MIBR have felt in a handful of these rounds, right? Even now, Nissim ready to play in tandem and lend a helping hand to Lux. If he needs it, that's the lineup. And now that the pressure comes in, Nissim should be ready to lend that helping hand. It's actually Sadzin up next. Rotating in on the AWP. They still don't know about this third player nearby. Exit left cowering in a corner. And that's the last memory he has of this round. Left saving the AK, the only gun that MIBR will have in this next round. Legacy have 2 chances to close this out. Oh, and that gun just narrowly makes it.
Yeah, it needed to. Like you said, they're not going to have anything to play with. The money problems have been protruding for both teams. But here, in this T side for MIBR, it has all come completely unraveled. The fact that they walk past Lux, they know his position. They know exactly where he is. There's not even eyes on him. And Lux, bottom of the board, has had a couple of saving rounds here at the end of the game for Legacy.
You know, this is Legacy, the team that wasn't supposed to be at this major, making it through the first stage. And now looking to knock out MIBR in this opening match. They get it done. Had to do this from the back foot, but fiery throughout. Legacy go from strength to strength on Nuke.
A very intense game. What a screamer from Dumao. He put on the frags, he put on the scream, he really got in MIBR's head there, and I haven't seen a crumble like that all major long.
And on one side of things, it's this Legacy team, you know, taking this as a golden ticket, a free ride, and they're taking it as far as they can. MIBR, though, coming in to this major. The last event we saw them at was in Astana. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals. They were coming into this with expectations, with eyeballs on them, and they lose to the golden ticket BR Squad Legacy.
Yeah, Brazilian teams at majors, man. You can't write them off. You can't write them out. Legacy looking good, and we've got them down on the stage.
Dumal is with me right now, ready to go through this one because there was a lot of emotion in this game. This is a big first win for you guys, and you're also taking down the other Brazilian side of MIBR. What does this mean for you guys?
Oh, I mean, to be 1-0, it's good for us. And of course, we have another game today, so we don't know what will happen, but we are just ready to play CS, you know. We just want to play more and more, and that's it, you know. Doesn't matter who is against us or whatever. We just want to play CS and show that we can play good CS, you know.
And you guys are showing that. We're seeing this, right? You're managing to improve game by game, a team that wasn't expected to be at the major. Are you seeing you guys get more comfortable across these moments?
Yes, not more comfortable, I should say more prepared, you know.
Okay.
We are getting, let's say in a process, we are playing bad the first games and everything. Then we start to get better, have conversations, trust each other. And yeah, then it's kind of, we just trust each other and play our CS, and that's pretty much, you know.
When you're saying like trust each other here, is this like you're just learning game to game, starting to feel out some of the mistakes and work on that?
Yes, yes. Basically working on our mistakes, but it still have this willingness, I don't know, willingness, you know? Yes, to win the game. And game by game, of course, it's a lot of games to get the playoffs and the finals and everything, but we just want to play game by game and enjoy the game and just have fun and keep trying to get better every day, game by game. So, yeah, we don't know where we are going, but just an unknown path, you know? But it's a very good thing. Yeah.
It is very good, but you're going upwards by the looks of it, because I'll say this, when I look at you guys playing, I never see your heads down. The mood is still positive, even when you're fighting from behind or something like that. Do you feel like you guys always have that good mood, good energy, that belief in each other?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, we told each other, we just want to, if you leave here, we leave without regret. So we will play our best. If you have to fight, whatever, go, jump like crazy, or just calm down sometimes and play on the rotations and everything, we will do it. So we are kind of just want to play too much CS, but we want to win at the same time, you know? So it's a balance of very good things, you know?
Well, the balance is working out so far. I love this attitude. I love this mentality. Let's see how they get on.
Balance is working out, as so is carrying on that confidence from the Stage 1 qualification into this position, and now we're seeing Legacy hit their stride. Finally, after 4 years of waiting, Lado and Dumal, they've shown up.
The prospects that never were, but have actually just steadily gotten better and now have found a better situation for themselves. I like the fire that we're getting out of Legacy. I like the energy from Dumal, from Lux himself as the in-game leader. I feel like this Brazilian team kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I'm going to reiterate the story. They weren't even really supposed to be here. And now they've found not only qualification to Stage 2, but a victory in that stage.
Yeah, Lado and Sadzen going to get all the flowers in this game. Huge performance, but I like that you brought up Lux, because I think, you know, you have to probably align with this Ryzen legacy with him coming in and picking up that in-game leader role and like taking it up and taking up that mantle, and even just saying it's the best decision he ever made in his life. He's loving being an in-game leader right now.
And I like that we're finally getting to hone in on Lado, because for such a long time in the Dumal Lado brotherhood, we were always singing the praises of Dumal. Dumal was the higher rated player. He had more impact in terms of clutches, but Lado did a lot more of the dirty work, but he does have his pop-off moments. He does play off of teammates incredibly well. Sometimes, like this game, he's the one that's a little bit more set up, that he's playing off of people instead of people playing off of him, and you can see how he thrives in these mid-late round moments when he's given the option to play them out.
And that is like a little bit of that trust like being rewarded, right? Like as Dumal says in that post-game interview, like we have to be able to trust each other, and I think that trust just gets built when you have that kind of a run in Stage 1, and now that you have that trust, you get to see where it can take you. Where's the next step? How far can you go from here?
And they're starting to believe in it all as well. Do you start to believe more in what Legacy can do in this stage?
I was believing from last night.
I didn't put them 0-3, I'll say that. I mean, they look too good in some of the games that they won, okay? Just the speed, the way that they took down, what was their last match? Wildcard, right? Yeah, that win versus Wildcard, I was like, okay, if they want to start playing with that kind of aggression and just taking it by the horns, then I'm gonna say that they are at least winning 1, 2. I'm a little bit, Yeah, I'm waiting to see if they're going to actually break through the 3-win column here, but I like what I've seen enough.
We can have the legacy philosophy. Let's not put any expectations on it. We're just playing. Let's just see how it goes game by game, because there's no pressure. You're playing with house money. You've already accomplished more than anyone would have expected. That you probably even expected to a certain extent. So now from here, it's all good.
Well, I think this could be something that's working for him. Dumal told me off camera, he was like, I'm practicing mindfulness. I don't know what that is exactly, but that's what he's working on.
That's usually what you say after you read a self-help book, and then you need to just be more present in the moment so that you don't ignore your significant other. It's like in relationship counseling a lot. So I don't know what he's gone through.
There's a lot of similarities between a relationship and a Counter-Strike team.
Team relationship, you know, real relationships. It's all part of it. But for now, we're going to head to the B stream. It's Tyloo taking on M80. So enjoy some of this, and we'll come back to you afterwards.
G!
More util for the CTs though, and it's a fast move onto the inner halls. So it might just be a straight B pop that we'll see from M80 with this force buy. I think that would be really strong. Tyloo do have 2 on the B site right now for defense, so they have stuff for it, but quick clearance of that pop dog. And M80 realized that Tyloo are just playing this really passively. Unless they've pushed Ivy, they don't have info.
Okay, grenade going over. Ouch. It's not the best way to get started, but it doesn't matter. It will come down to the entries, and they've certainly got that. Jamyoung blown up a bit. Good headshot from G, and also Mercury's going to get at least 1 kill there. Bomb being attempted in the back, and a lot of damage onto Attacker, but G's still tapping away here. He's landing some really good shots in the round so far. Triple on him, and Swisher, no teammates left. No more bullets either in the Galil, so he tries for the Tech-9 instead. It's a very expensive round, and another bomb plant, but Tyloo will pick it up. I think there is an interesting question here for M80 about whether or not you'd want to try and just do it again. Because with that much pressure and down into the 1v2 there, it's risky. They have a big lead right now. They could be compromising the lead by going for it, but at the same time, there's so much to win by crushing Tyloo early on.
Yeah, it's interesting because Tyloo also didn't have the info, so it's actually really amazing that they mounted such a good defense. And you know, one of the reasons why I think that they weren't, even trying to play for info is because they know that a force buy is very likely what's on the other end, and so playing close into T main or playing aggressive on Ivy, I think that just feels too risky in a round like that. But that might be a difference though now from Tyloo. We'll see if they change it up.
So they go for a bit of a half buy here on the T side, right? So not all in. I respect it. It gets some of the taste of doing the pressure, but you don't risk all the rounds, so I think that's reasonable. These early stage games at the major are some of the most impactful ones. If you go down to that, 0-1 or 0-2 bracket, it is not a good time. 2 rounds separating these teams. And Mercury going for a bit here. Once you get a CT player, just to remind people, once you get a CT player here, it's much easier to play 2 people on B and 3 on the A yard, because that one player is controlling so much.
Yeah, and it's the kind of move that I was saying would be or could be a difference compared to the previous round. And now it's kind of difficult for M80 because unless they really clear that position, or actually it's been given up by Tyloo now, and instead they opt for a more passive play around Pop Dog with that boost. But they know that a push has to be coming at this point, like a rush has to be coming.
See where these Molotovs go. They have a couple of them on the T side. One of them presumably, yeah, so that's for C connector. The other one on Rec. We'll see if they can find any pressure, because 30 seconds left here, and I think Tyloo know what's coming. Good couple of taps here. G keeping his cool. Pulls out the USB. Now backup is there. And Swisher hoping to do more damage. I think planting the bomb is a bit of a dream at this stage. It's very well handled. Only 1 casualty on the CT side here. Good defense.
Yeah, and it's impressive, especially because we saw that hold already happen against rifles, full rifles, and util. So Tyloo actually looking really scary there, and M80 definitely need to test the outer bomb site as well, and possibly also the Ivy position if they have like defaults that includes action there.
1 round separating them. They're going for the half buy, so they have plenty of money in this round. Attacker both getting flashed and grenaded through that. Wait, How did he get there so quickly?
That's really fast, yeah. I mean, he's taken a lot of damage, so must have gotten hit by some nades.
What's he wearing to get there? I must just be confused. All right, they're just the regular boots. Thanks, production. I appreciate it. I was expecting rollerblades. I'm probably just confused.
Either way. Oh, no, it was very quick that Mercury got there. It ran all the way. And it's actually caused a lot of delay, too, because M80 realized it. But they're just going for it straight through the incendiary into the M4. Jamyang, again, you keep testing this B site, but it has been held time and again. Third time in a row, bombed down on the ground in front of Jamyang and Tai Lu. They are in such a strong position now to just close this round out. M80, they want this B site, Anders, but it's just not going at all in any way their favor.
Well, and previously, when they've tried it, they've had to deal with Tai Lu being quite far back, and this time it's right in front of them. So also probably a bit frustrating. You're hoping that with the rifles, if you could get down on the bomb side, you can take some better fights than you could with the pistols, but that's just obviously not going to be the case here. So a long save coming in. Can we go back and investigate? Did he get run boosted, Mercury? Like, is that I don't understand how it's possible to get to that position. I mean, I've spent maybe 30 hours running around on train on my own, trying to test like all the timings, all the grenades, and like I've spent a lot of time with this map just trying to figure out how to do everything basically, and I can't believe that he'd get there so quickly. Quite interesting.
It's possible the T's could have been a little slowed.
Yeah, I mean,
well.
yeah, that's right. Like maybe that's the other side of maybe it has a totally pedestrian explanation. That would be funny if I was just making a big deal. I was like, oh, he's so fast. Like, wow.
Either way, really solid holds, and again, it just feels like it just feels like at this point you have to apply pressure elsewhere on the map, just because Tai Lu have had the benefit of also having two players on A, or rather on B most of the time too, when they are putting these defenses together, and it just has gone so poorly for M80 that you want to see M80 create an argument that, hey, you know, we're going to press you elsewhere, and maybe we'll find a pick somewhere, and then create an argument for Tai Lu to not have two players on the B site when they finally want to hit it, and or come back to it later in the round or in this first half at least. Those B hits.
It does feel a bit one-dimensional at the moment for M80. My favorite strat of the map involves lurking Ivy and pushing B, but having one guy lurk through CT spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like throughout all of Counter-Strike history, that's been one of the I think defining strategies of Train. That's one of the things that sets the map a little bit apart, the fact that you can do that. And it's super fun to watch. It's got this really long fuse where you can see what's going to happen with the lurk, but nobody on the CT side knows, and it's just a lot of fun. It's also hard to execute and might require like a little bit more confidence than they currently have. Game is tied up, and we are going to be seeing flashes over. We've seen this before. This is the delayed version of it. So we'll see if they can make it out at all. They line up for Attacker, and he is ready. A grenade on top of Sin, but it couldn't have been better. Positioning there for the M4A4.
And right now, M80 looking underprepared on their T side, because we, like you say, what that you mentioned, or used the word one-dimensional. And I think that's how it kind of must feel to Tai Lu as well, because Tai Lu so far, all they've had to do is just defend full rushes. That's kind of all they've really had to defend, and it's just different timings.
Yeah, G is excited.
He's pumped.
Yeah, he should be. Not only is he winning the game, but I think Moses promised him ice cream as well, so you know he's in a great mood. Slacks goes down at the beginning. It's Attacker again, up to 12 kills. And they are really struggling now. M80. I mean, like I said, both teams don't have a lot of reps on this map. Tai Lu, I think it's 5 maps in the last 3 months, and for M80 it's 4 on Train, something like that. It's not a map that neither team will drill a lot, so for M80 that presents a real danger. It's like, how deep is the playbook? How much have you been practicing this? Do you have a way to dig yourself out? Probably will not be in this round. G lands a shot at range. And Mercury, a bit of a dance around the E-box. Lake. Doesn't really matter, but he does get shot in the back. Attacker with another triple. couldn't agree more.
It is interesting too because it felt like Tai Lu looked, somewhat one-dimensional with their T side as well. Just in the sense that it's very hard for them to also create openings for them to mid-rounds. And I think that's that's what we're seeing from M82, where they can't really create. I mean, firstly, it is hard on train to do that. It's one of the harder maps to do that.
Yeah. You need some specialist players in a couple of different positions. I mean, there are people who are really good at attacking you out on the T side. Like you throw them out and they play by the diagonal train, and they're just really good at finding those openings. But if you don't have one of those, yeah, you end up playing this slightly slower version of the game. A little bit of Ivy at least being looked at now. I think it's Swisher who's down there. Moja, though, playing for the pixels, just wanted to see if someone was there. They'll slow it down once again. Let's see what the plan ends up being. I think right now it's a default for M80, meaning they are just gathering information. They need to figure out who's where and what exactly is going on that CT side.
They showed some presence towards Ivy, but feels as though Tyler are not concerned at all about it.
Yeah.
G holding pop, so that gets flashed off as well. So M80 still making it look like, hey, this could be anything right now. This could be B, this could be A.
This position that Attacker is in is so common, and it is still very hard to clear. It's interesting how difficult it could be. They have got a Molotov. If they throw it, though, they slow themselves down too, and it's not even guaranteed they get the kill on Attacker. 35 seconds. They can grenade him out, but again, that's going to reveal that they're coming to that A yard. They will try and do that. I don't hate it, but again, this is a big signal here. Attacker decides to sit inside the fire and fight to the death. It's Mercury on the other side. And again, look at how slow they are. They're all waiting behind their own Molotov with 20 seconds on the clock. Everyone knows what they're doing. Sin goes down next. Swisher to try and fight it back, but with only 13 seconds, it just almost can't be done. He needs to find the kills now. The bomb plant, I don't think it's going to be allowed for. They're right on top of it. Jamyong to get the shot off here. And Tyloo now very close to picking up the victory against M80.
Yeah, this is a very demoralizing second half of training for M80. Tyloo's so ready for it. I mean, Mercury, really good defense by Pop.
Yep.
The energy's crazy.
That's what he does,
The battery, human battery. 11 to 8 for Tyloo as we look to see the AWP G supported there on inner, and look at how pitiful the buy is here for M80. I mean, it's not a buy, half buy.
Yeah, small investment. Don't hate it.
Picked. Ivy's dead, Pop Dog's dead, it's all dead, Anders.
That's kind of depressing, Dan.
Yep.
You're not wrong. More realist take here. They've won 0 rounds on the second half, which is not enough. Jamyong just aggressively holding this position. Brilling and CMA just making sure there's nothing they could have done here. I like it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's running so much distraction there, and he obviously has a teammate that is undiscovered so far. Attacker could really cause problems. Another smoke. That's just so irritating. So irritating for M80. You're just forced to wait. You're forced to be in the queue.
Jamyong, I love it. Why fight? There's so little to gain. They run down the ramp. Mercury gets the 1 kill that he needed, and Attacker coming in to help out a little bit, lining him up. Tyloo have locked M80 out of the second half. They're giving him nothing really to work with here. And the playbook just doesn't look deep enough either unfortunately, for the NA side.
It really doesn't. I mean, that's, the criticism befell Tyloo on the first half as well in that respect. M80 looks really good on their CT side, but just yet devoid of answers on the second half. One more chance, potentially, to find something that could be successful. Slacks on the AWP, full buy, of course, for M80. Playing against the loss now. Very fast down Pop.
Yeah. They wanted to do it again. They had the player ready in T-spawn to throw the flashes and everything, but now they've been slowed down. Counter flashes coming out. Is there going to be a swing behind an attacker? They're so blind on the other side. Big kill, but he doesn't realize there's a second player that's going to be locking up, and they line up. It's a great spray down for Rek, trying to keep this alive. Second half has been unforgiving for M80, but now at least they're in a 2v3. G will find a kill. Jamyoung, bullet to the face, and still a minute on the clock here in the 2v2.
Whoa, Sin, what a round. The double orbs getting toppled there. The double orbs looked really oppressive too for them to go into, but like a great way to just keep themselves alive into this one with the shock and all plays. But again, after we settle down from the high emotions there, the high energy, we are left, Anders, with the reality that that's the only success M80 really had, and it's just again off of a rush.
The double kill there for Rek is based off of a decision that he makes early on to not help his teammates that flashed. He's probably flashed himself, but he could have, been tempted to say, oh, I'll try and swing both together and see if we get the spray down. The fact that he doesn't do that, he essentially baits his teammate, but sets it into a double kill. And as Yanko once said, it's a fine line between, baiting and teamwork. So nicely played, I would say, to just leave it alone for a minute, come back, and then get the double instead. Super well played.
Very well played indeed. Still a few more chances for Ty Lu, though, of course. See Sin finishing off the double orb.
That's the first round of the second half. Look at how much money they have. 10K on Jamyoung. The rest are a little bit more poor, but still, it means they can buy for a while here, Ty Lu, and they just need one bit of success. Flash around the corner. There's attacker to set it up, but a good swing in return as Lake has taken him down. 4 versus 4 with absolutely everything on the line here. M80, one of the few NA teams left in the tournament. They need to represent, they need a bit of an early victory here. Stage 2, and it's the first day.
M80, it's a double-edged sword to like wait out the smokes. You kind of need to, but at the same time, then the deeper lines will be available. And G is on that AWP after all. But look how close Mercury has crept up behind that smoke previously, thrown defensively between E-Box and Pop. And there he's going to find one unsuspecting Slacks. Now who's going to trade this? Is there anyone to trade this? Nobody. And Mosia up on the side in the meantime finds the edge of Swisher.
Yes, disastrous. They're all here. Nice shot from Rek. I can't believe they're back into a 2v2. All of Ty Lu were here. There was nobody at the B bomb side. They had a 4-man setup at A in a 4v4. So Ty Lu, the fact that it's not a 1 round already is kind of shocking. Jamyoung's trying to see if he can sneak on out. All right, realizing the bomb is planted back there. He's got an incendiary. HE around the corner into the swing. Lake able to find the headshot, but this grenade on Jamyoung is still huge. We'll see if he can find a way to throw it. There it goes into the corner. And Lake's got to be careful, but he's just on the other side of it, barely touching it. HE on top, that'll surely get him. No, he's down to 8. How does he live through that? Going for the defuse, a full 5 seconds. He's not going to come off it either. Gets the headshot on Lake, and now he's ready. He gets another one onto Jamyoung. An absurd clutch with 12 health, and a defuse kit sends them to a victory.
Well played, Ty Lu. M80 looking really good on the first half, but it just wasn't enough. Flat on the second, and with that, it's time for a break. We'll be back with more Counter-Strike. Oh,
well,
wait.
Before we go to a break, Dan, we're not ready yet.
Oh, we're not ready yet.
We are going to get to the interview before we get there, but we're going to see a couple of fist bumps here. Respectful, I like it. Hard-fought game. It was so good in the first half for M80. 8 rounds. They managed to steal away, but the second half, you could see that the T side was lacking in some of the ideas. They just didn't have the right feel for it, I think, unfortunately. And Ty Lu, in spite of a slow start, they just seemed like they didn't hurt them at all.
Yeah.
They were ready regardless, so pretty impressive stuff.
And it's interesting too, because Ty Lu themselves didn't have much of a better first half.
True.
On the T side. So both teams had rough T sides, but really nice CT sides on this map, which isn't unusual if it's a map like Train where you don't play it too often. But with that said, now finally we have the interview ready to go.
Ty Lu start off strong here on Train with the opening win, and they managed to get it over M80. I know you said Sin is your friend.
Yeah.
Is it sad? Does it hurt you to win? Oh, gee.
Oi!
Brother!
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 brother! Congratulations. Thank you, brother. Enjoy that. Look.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah!
Thank you very much. Oh, yep, straight in. Nice.
Number one. Number one.
All you need is a Counter-Strike win. Jimmy is very happy with his ice cream. This is all you want, yeah?
Good. Favorite food in the world. Favorite. Best. Number one. Ice cream is look like food. The food of Zaiwu.
Ah, the food of Zaiwu is ice cream. I just learned something as well. So obviously Zaiwu needs some ice cream as well.
But I'm more like Monassi, you know.
You're more like Monassi. You're going to share it with Monassi? Give ice cream to Monassi?
Yeah, of course. I love Monassi.
Oh, we all love Monassi. And we all love G. What a guy.
Turns out China is number one when it comes to the head-to-head between them and America. Tyloo taking down M80 and G. I mean, dude, this guy is just a bundle of joy. I cannot get over it.
I know, I can't get over it. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, man, but like the multi-kills down the stretch from Tyloo were insane in this game. I don't know if that's
unreal.
I don't know if it's more of an indictment of M80 maybe towards the end falling flat. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it is.
I tried.
I mean, every time they tried to get out of Pop right there, it was Mercury or Jam Young.
Inner Jam Young triple
stuffing
kill.
them.
Yeah, Pop, it's the Mercury double kill.
I know. It's unbelievable. Attacker was in the right rotations every single time. I feel like M80, they did a decent job in some of the rounds actually using utility to take some space, but every time they did that, Tyloo was just like, oh, okay, well now you're spelling out to us exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
And then all of their players were in the perfect positions. And I will say also on the other side, like M80, it almost feels like they overlooked so many spots so frequently. Like the amount of times Mercury was just kind of against the Pop wall, and then he gets a multi-kill. That felt unforgivable after the second time.
I feel like they tried to force some things at the end, or like when they felt the game slipping away, I think there was like a little bit of a panic of being like, okay, we have to win a round like right now, immediately in this moment, like executing through smoke at lower ramp in a Jam Young's triple, trying to kind of swing out through smoke through Pop Dog. I think there was just a couple situations where they felt like they had to go faster and more aggressive than perhaps they needed to. Even that being said, though, some of those rounds towards the end came down like very late. Like the early round got smashed so hard that it took them so long to find a reason to get back into it. Tyloo just played that great.
And Tyloo looked good on train, you know? Rotating very well, playing off each other at the same time. I never did. I think I'd be fed the ice cream. I thought you were going to get the ice cream.
I did too.
Oh, you got it as well?
No, I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just didn't expect you to keep your promise and bring him ice cream.
I have to ask though, James, how does it feel that you took a bite of the ice cream and then G just took a bite from the same spoon?
You know, he wanted to take some of my aura, and that's how he was doing it. In his next game, if he performs really well, he owes this to Jason, by the way.
Are you not a spoon sharer when it comes to ice cream?
Generally,
if I was eating ice cream, would you be comfortable taking the spoon?
No.
I would from you.
With significant others.
You're clean.
Sure.
You're clean.
Thank you.
Do you do that with your dog?
About you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same. Yeah.
That's very American.
That's all I got.
That's very American.
I don't really want to expand on it.
I'm not gonna say what that makes you. But you just love your dog. You just love your dog.
We have to all love our animals. It's important.
Not sure where this one's going.
No, this one's ran its course, I think, actually, if I had to say so myself.
We all gotta love our animals.
Do you know what might have run the course here? It's the Pick'ems, where M80 said they were like, oh yeah, we're not 0-3, we can do this, because they did have the game. They had a good start, more than enough to make that work. This is not a positive sign.
That T-side was incredibly flat, unfortunately. I would boil it down to a couple things. One is that there were some nerves when they were trying to clear out those bomb sites, and they leapt before they looked, and that's always going to do you in. On top of that, just spacing in general. I feel like Mercury shouldn't be getting so many multi-kills, guarding the same position in the same way multiple times in a row. No, I think M80, they are, for me, one of the favorites to go 0-3. I know that sounds kind of backwards, but in terms of it, I mean, I put them 0-3 myself. I want to see them upend those expectations, but they've had a really tough season, even though they have arrived here in stage 2.
Yeah, there's nothing, they're kind of like some of the other NA teams where it's just like, who knows, because the season was so bad, and while we want to talk about the positives, it's just we haven't seen them in long enough, and we're not seeing them here yet. You know, it's only been one game. There's plenty of time for recovery.
It was, but I felt like this was a golden opportunity for M80 to grab some legs.
Well, now you're kind of at the mercy of the draw, and you're also at the mercy of, is this a bad day one, or was that a bad map?
Hopefully just a bad map if you are an M80 fan, if you are
It's really been a bad season. So let's try to just find a little bit of solace here in the very final event before the player break.
Yeah, before things could possibly change after that. But you know what is changing? Our matchups, because we're going into round 2. So let's have a look back at the bracket and see where we're at so far today. I just want to start before we get into what's happening on the next set of games, guys. What was your favorite matchup of the day so far?
I mean, it's going to sound crazy considering the scoreline, but FaZe Heroic was a very fun game to watch.
It was entertaining.
It was one of the most entertaining blowouts you'll ever see in Counter-Strike.
Yes.
I was really glad to see Furia kind of righting the wrongs of Dallas and looking dominant versus Linvision. I never really, after round 6, I don't think that ever was really close. So for Molodoy to pop off, Yakindar to pop off, even though he's popping into his monitor, all of that is always going to make me happy.
And I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up Falcon's bait. It was on the B stream, so we didn't cover it, so I didn't watch it as closely as I would have liked to, but having the upset of bait taking down Falcons, and now you put the pressure on Falcons, who already have the pressure of being expected to be like the best team to take down Vitality, who already have the pressure of having the number 2 player in the world on the team, whatever you want to consider Nico, number 1 rifler, number 2 rifler in the world. You've got all these pieces that should be performing well. Now you're sitting at 0-1, and if that's a bad day, pressure escalates going into the series.
Yeah, it only gets harder from here for every single one of the teams. Let's take a look at the matchups in some more detail though, so you guys can see how it's going to be split up in here. This is a nice and easy one to see. Look over here. Straight away, right? Furia Pain. That's a Brazilian matchup got in there.
Maybe it doesn't get harder for Falcons. They're against Linvision for their second game. I feel like they're going to take care of business there. If they don't, ring the alarm bells, but I feel like I'm still keeping mine under wraps.
Yeah, no, if Linvision somehow upset Falcons in that game, that is kind of your oh shit moment. Like, this is the problem. FaZe Tyloo, FaZe looking today, Tyloo might not be having a great time, might not be an ice cream delivery to G at the end of that one. That's going to be tough.
Look, you give him another ice cream for
G.
sadness.
Respect Jam Young.
Okay, so just it's kind of like, you know, win or lose, we bing chillin'.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every single time.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well played.
Yeah, I do my best.
That bait VP game, that could get interesting because VP looked fantastic, right? But just in terms of style, how those two play, that could be nice.
I feel like Electronic's going to bully NPL once again, as he did on Navi.
Oh.
I feel like VP came out in a way
you
that
remember me?
I feel like I put bait making it through. I put VP also making it through, but the way that VP worked in map 1 there was like, okay, this is a different team than we even saw at the last event. So they've clearly worked on things. Electronics worked on his mood. I bet MPL would rather play with him now as he's calmed down a little bit.
But you know how you mentioned that VP is that team where whenever you start to lose faith, they pop off and show you some good performance?
Yeah.
I think they're also the team that once they show you a good performance and you start believing, they drop off. So what's your confidence level in that VP repeating the performance?
Yeah, the most bipolar roster, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's ups and downs with them all the time.
But if we get that VP, that should be a great game against Bait.
Oh, yeah.
But the other side of this is, you said about like MPL having to struggle with going up against Electronic again. MPL is going to be like, I got a point to prove.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to show you
it's a grudge match.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully. I don't know if that's his mentality. You might. I haven't spoken to him. Is that his mentality?
I think he'll have a bit of spice to it. Yeah, we will find out.
James knows what's going on. He's on the Telegram group, okay? He's reading what's going on in Eastern Europe. He's got his finger on the pulse.
I do live on that Telegram lifestyle. But for now, while I go and find out all these details across Telegram and all the other socials, you guys will join an extended break as we get ready for the next round of games. You won't want to miss it. The Austin Major is here.
What's up, everybody? I'm Darth Mike. I'm going to be running around the venue, taking you behind the scenes, showing you a lot of the action, filming a ton of content. We're going to go ahead and take a tour of the studio, see where the magic happens, see where the games are going to be going live. Teams are getting ready to set up, so let's go ahead and let's do it. Welcome in to the Blast TV Austin Major Studio. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. We've got so many beautiful things to look at. This is where the first 3 stages of the Major are going to occur. We got 32 teams rocking up. It's in this studio where everything begins, where we first learn to respect underdog. This is the mix zone. This is where the press will be after the games to catch players as they come off, get their interviews, get their snippet, give you guys a little insight. But here, as we come around the corner, this is where the magic happens. We've got 8 setups. Top of the line Alienware monitors, blacklight chairs, desks, everything you could possibly want to achieve your absolute best as a player. But these setups, we've got 8 of them, and that means that one set of teams can be setting up while the other set of teams is playing, so that we don't have any elongated breaks if everything works as planned. Knock on, that's not wood. but it'll be good enough. So with these 32 teams coming in, there's a lot of rookies. With the expansion of the major, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of fresh faces coming through. And while the setups do a great job of allowing you to adjust, to tweak, to raise your level, to lower your chair, to do everything you could need to make yourself as comfortable as possible, let's be real. We all know what's on the line. We all know the stakes. It's never going to be as easy as when you're playing at home. We're coming down to the end of the row, and here's where the broadcast magic happens. They don't let me touch the cameras anymore, not since the incident. So we'll leave that alone. I move on in here to the jib. This is my favorite toy. This is how we get all the beautiful sweeping shots. It goes in, it goes out. Every time you see a dope crowd shot, it's thanks to one of these. But again, not since the incident. Welcome in to the desk here at the Blast TV Austin Major, where we have created this marvel of carbon fiber and electronics to bring you the absolute peak of analytical experience here at the Blast TV Austin Major. We have the beautiful Austin skyline on the LED wall behind me. They can change that to anything that they want. They got so much power here. And in between the games, in between the matches, they're going to be breaking down the information. They're going to be bringing you the highlights. They're going to be updating you on the storyline, keeping you abreast of the situation. And it's from this desk that our analysts can peer all the way down the room at those far setups so they can see the hype moments and maybe critique a player's posture. And if you're wondering why I'm so brilliant and beautiful and tall like these giant skyscrapers behind me, well, we got a little bit of secret. If you look down, this is just a little bit of a box there. That's a lower tech solution. But you know, sometimes everybody needs a bit of a lift. In a minute here, this hall is going to fill back up with players, and the games will commence. The screams of triumph, the cries of agony, the noises of defeat, those are all going to ring through the halls of this studio. So without further ado, let the games begin.
hear that you are up for renewal when it comes to our membership. And so I've dusted off your portfolio, and I would like you to give me your thoughts on what I consider to be one of the finest of Counter-Strike's cultural moments. Ahead of us, we have Inhuman Reactions by Hiko. You remember this well, don't you?
I do remember it. I can't escape it in some sense. It has become part of my life, just like Counter-Strike has. So.
I think that when we talk about culture, we talk about context, we talk about history and all these things that make Counter-Strike great. But the beauty of Inhuman Reactions by Hiko, by Anders Bloom, is that it's short and sweet. We play this clip.
The thing to really remember here is that we are in an era of Counter-Strike where the Swedes dominate everything. There is no challenge. Everyone knows they're the best, and Hiko is just this North American player. Sure, he's got a bit of a personality, he's got a bit of something going on for him. And then this happens. What is that?
Oh,
God, Inhuman Reactions!
that is Counter-Strike in its essence. We see him go on to lose this round, and I think one of the great things that you said here,
Not even with an aimbot could you have got that kill, and Hiko
sometimes anything is possible. I think Hiko's very lucky, Mr. Bloom, that you were there to elevate this moment.
Ultimately ended up being a big moment for both of us in many ways, even years later.
So when we think of cultural impact with Counter-Strike, I give this a 10 out of 10. And in terms of mechanics, that lizard flick that Hiko puts on display, I give that 10 out of 10 as well. This is a magnitude 10 shaking of the Counter-Strike world. 100% glory in my eyes.
Well, I would be remiss to argue with that. I will agree with your score.
Ah, fine taste. It's my pleasure to approve your renewal. You may continue casting Counter-Strike.
I appreciate your generosity.
Ah, yes. Oh, it's not on behalf of myself, sir. This is the Culture Clubhouse, after all. It's on behalf of all of Counter-Strike.
Well, together we will continue to build the culture even further into the future then.
Greater than ever.
Stage 2, day 1, and we are ready to be diving into round number 2 here at the Blast TV Austin Major. By we, I mean myself, Rose Spears, Dupree, and Pimp, guiding you on through the second round of best of ones going down today. Gentlemen, we had some speedy affairs going on earlier, right?
Yeah, it's been quite a fast day, and also a day or start to stage 2 with a couple of surprises. You know, I think. Yeah, we'll dive into it, Peter, but a couple of the games in the beginning didn't really go the way we would have expected them to.
No, it was very one-sided, and we've just got to a point now. I woke up today and was extremely sad, not satisfied, excited coming into stage 2. I think we've seen a lot of good things in stage 1, but coming to stage 2, been really excited.
And there's a good reason why we're so excited as we look on forward to those 8 teams that are joining us, joining the fray for stage 2. Headlined, of course, by the Falcons and FaZe. We'll get on to those respective signs in a minute. 3D Max VP as well joining us. A hell of a lot of Brazilian Counter-Strike going down there. And then the sole North American entire hope remaining. Of course, there's a couple of Germans on the lineup. But you know, they really are clutching at straws right now, Jacob, because yesterday wasn't a good day for NA.
No, it was not, you know, and let's be completely honest, I think M80 will probably only be here for a day or 2 more as well. So NA so far during this major haven't had a good time, and that brings us to stage 3 next week when Liquid joins the mix. I think that's the only real hope that NA has left.
They're really clinging on to whatever's remaining. Yeah, Leash. That's, obviously a big name. Let's check in with the stage 2 bracket as well, because obviously we had the round 1 matches going down just earlier. That leaves us with our 1-0 and 0-1 matchups. We say it time and time again, Dupree, but the fact that we're starting off with these best of ones, you need to be having that quick start because, you know, you blink and you could be 0-2 by the end of the day.
I think most teams came out the way they wanted to. I think that obviously Falcons was the one that was the most difficult one, and I think now that they find themselves in the 0-1 bracket, it's going to be difficult for them. Apart from that, I don't think we saw like too many surprises. I think the last game between M80 and Tyloo was probably the one that got maybe a little bit like closer, but overall I feel like that the teams that they needed to win, they got on top as well.
Kind of a couple of cool matchups, to be completely honest. Obviously, we're going to cover on the A stream. The B stream is running simultaneously. Keep 2 screens open at the same time. Furia versus Pain, Brazilian domestic derby right there. One of those 2 teams will go 2-0 and put themselves in a prime position. FaZe, I'm sure we'll dive into it, but they look very good in that opening game. I think Tyloo's going to have a rough one in that second game.
They are indeed. I mean, the Lim Vision versus Falcons matchup, obviously we'll talk about the dire situation that Falcons found themselves in that first best of 1, but one of those 2 teams going 0-2, I think, you know, most people will be siding with the Falcons to be winning that one.
They have to. I mean, like right now with the Falcons losing in Spade, like I think the worst thing for me looking at that matchup was the way that Falcons lost it. Like, it looked very uninspiring. They looked very nervous. They looked like they were not in control throughout the game. I think Bait played a really great game, and I've said it throughout stage one as well, that you cannot sleep on Bait. I think that they deserved the win. They definitely played better.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think Bait had a great showing that opening game. I think Falcons was watching the game. He never got off to it. I think he had an AWP a total of 0 times in the first half as well. So in terms of the money management in that regard, that wasn't pretty. But we'll dive more into that later.
The last game of the day on the A stream side of things, that will be MIBR versus Nemiga, which brings us on to our rookie conversation that we were talking so much about during stage one. Because for Nemiga, they're all incredibly new to the situation, right?
That's one of the bright things coming out of stage one. Nemiga, a team that had were full of rookies. Like, all 5 players and the coach were rookies coming into this